than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. But value is just a piece of the Genesis difference. They're taking consumer protection to a whole new level with non-commissioned salespeople, free service for life on any purchase, and a nationwide price guarantee. And listen to this. Genesis is so confident in their diamonds that they offer a groundbreaking 120% upgrade guarantee. This means when you buy a diamond now and bring it back in the future to upgrade it, you'll get your entire original purchase price plus an extra 20%. So if you spend $5,000 on your original diamond, Genesis will give you $6,000 when you trade up to a bigger diamond. Think about it. We'll pay you more than you paid us for the same diamond. Who else does this? Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry at Poplar & Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
O'Reilly.
See better and drive safer with new bulbs from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a better view of the road and save. Receive a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate plus 2 times O Rewards points with the purchase of Sylvania Silver Star Ultra or select ZXE Twin Pack bulbs. Replace your old bulbs and see better. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS Top Safety Pick in Seat 7, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062 MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 00104, MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the alarm clocks, wanting to take the 8:15 into the city.
Welcome in. Happy Monday to you. Time for a little Sports 56 Mornings on this Monday, November 13th, 2023. We are zeroing in on Thanksgiving. Football is really heating up with a lot of implications for bowls and the playoffs, and we will recap that today as just one of the topics that we'll get into on this 3-hour extravaganza. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you. We are in the Family Leisure Studios, Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Again, the Overstock sale continues at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Take advantage of great deals just in time for the holiday season. Currently, it's a robust 43 degrees, but the sun is shining, and we're looking at a high today of about 70 or 71 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies tonight, partly cloudy, with a low dipping down to about 48, and then sunny tomorrow with a high near 69 degrees. Yes, college football, just one of the topics today. We'll get into a great win for the Memphis Tigers basketball team on Friday, coming from behind to win against the Missouri Tigers in Columbia. We'll recap the NFL weekend with one game to go. Tonight's Monday night game between the Broncos and the Bills. We have college football coaching firings. 'Tis the season, and a surprise in College Station, Texas, that we'll talk about. Barrett Sallee will join us to talk college football at 8:25. And the Grizzlies get off the schneid yesterday with a win in Los Angeles after Friday's loss and an epic rant by head coach Taylor Jenkins, who got fined as expected by the NBA. We'll talk a little Memphis women's soccer as they move into the second round of the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament. And we'll take your calls and your texts at 901-360-8255. That's the Sports 56 listener lines. You can also hit us up with a comment, a question, concern on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. SportsMemphis.com is the website to hit us up if you have any comments to make. And there is a lot, as I said, to talk about on this Monday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. First of all, let me bring in my co-host, my partner for many years, Eli Savoy. How are you?
I am fantastic.
You have a good weekend?
I had it was a really good weekend. A couple of hustle games got their season started. Yeah, so it was good times.
Did they win both games?
They went 1-1. They won Friday night. They lost on Saturday night. Gigi Jackson was terrific in both games.
Nice to know.
Which is a good sign. But yeah, it was fun to get their season off and rolling.
Third member of our triumphant, Mr. Zach Boyd, producing the program from the other side of the glass. Zach, how are you?
We're doing good.
What you do this weekend?
Pretty much nothing.
That's good. Sometimes those weekends are good, right?
Yes.
Kick back, relax, maybe watch a little tube.
It felt like the last 5 or 6 weeks for me were just filled with stuff I had to do. So it was good to kind of have a plain weekend.
And it's only going to get busier with the holidays right around the corner.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody had a great weekend. And as I said, it's a lot going on in the world of sports. I was kind of debating on where I want to start things off. I mean, there's a lot from the NFL world that I want to get into, but we usually save that until hour number 3. So let's begin with football. Let's begin with college football. Let's begin with the Memphis Tigers and another game not for the faint of heart, as they defeat the Charlotte 49ers, their first ever meeting with Charlotte on the football field, winning in Charlotte by the count of 44-38 in overtime. If you expected a walk in the park for Memphis, it's just not in their DNA, not this season. But the motto in the spring and the motto in August camp was finish. Simply finish, which they haven't been able to do recently. Last year, they weren't able to finish some games. This year, with the exception of Tulane and Missouri, they never really had the lead in that game. I mean, Missouri obviously beat them in a close game. There are the only 2 losses for Memphis, 2 top 25 losses, but they're finishing. Yes, it's a look. We always invite you to be a part of the show. Always love to hear from you guys, but really save it if you're going to say, it was an ugly win. It's a win. I don't care. It's a win. And now they set up themselves for an absolute showdown with a team that is leaving the conference, SMU, this Saturday at 11 o'clock at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. It doesn't guarantee you'll be in the championship game, but you've taken a major step, whoever walks out of here with the dub. But Memphis almost, Eli, we're not in that situation for us to talk about today because Charlotte had a 10-point lead with 7 minutes to go. But once again, Memphis found a way. Seth Hennigan, banged up and all, was able to lead the team down the field. Tanner Gillis ties it up with 35 seconds to go with a field goal. And then in the overtime, after a missed field goal by Charlotte, it was the running of Blake Watson. Scores the game winner and the 6-point dub for Memphis to improve to 8-2, 5-1 in the conference.
Yeah, I'm still not even really sure how they won the game. Honestly, like when they went down the second time by 10, I thought they were done. It is a bottom line business. You win games. That's all you can do. But this defense does not give me a whole lot of hope against SMU. I'll be honest. As I said last week, that's a really bad Charlotte offense. And luckily their quarterback is bad enough to just kept throwing the ball to Memphis. I mean, you should never give up that many points to that Charlotte offense. And I had wondered, I wanted to see, I don't know, okay, maybe it's just the fact that they had played some good offenses, and that's why they've given up all these points. No, this defense has some real issues. And I don't know how they're going to stop SMU. I really don't. SMU's offense is so much better than Charlotte's offense. It's not even funny. Now, that's one of the more bizarre things I've ever seen, where they have a running back who runs for almost 200 yards who did not have a carry on the year and had one career carry.
He was 5th on the depth chart. Sean Wilson.
The top 2 guys on the depth chart don't appear, and then you go to the 3rd guy on the depth chart and the 5th guy. When Brian Summerfield talked about the depth charts meaning nothing last week, clearly at the running back position, the depth chart meant absolutely nothing. I don't even know what the heck that was. But for the Tigers to give up 200 yards almost to that guy who's 5th on the depth chart, I mean that's beyond craziness. I really don't know. I don't know what to make of this team because the defense is just really, really bad, but they do keep finding a way somehow to pull these games out and win them.
Well, the defense, it's crazy because in the second half of games, for some reason, the defensive line gets worn down and they're able to run the ball at will. As you mentioned, this 5th-string running back, Wilson, 24 carries, 198 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And finally, Biff Poggi and his offensive coordinator figured out, let's not have our quarterback throw the ball unless it's to a wide-open tight end, because tight ends are always open. They didn't throw the ball to a wide receiver because he's getting picked off. The Memphis defense had 4 interceptions. 1 was returned for a touchdown by Chandler Martin. So they still made big plays while getting diced up in the second half. But when they needed it the most, in the 4th quarter, Memphis down 10, then they come back to make it a 3-point game, and they need a defensive stop. And they get a defensive stop. And, people say the bend, not break. No, they break a lot. They break a lot, this defense.
They are broken.
And the way Memphis wins games is by outscoring opponents. That's the way they do it. But there's still these opportune times in the game when they have to make a play, and they make a play. Again, 4 picks, 1 a pick 6 is not too shabby for your defense. But they need everything from their offense because the defense puts them, unfortunately, in those predicaments. Now, special teams let them down as far as the kickoffs are concerned. A couple that were out of bounds, short kickoffs, they're returning them, getting shorter field position. But, yeah, this was one where you looked at it down 10 that second time and you wondered about it. Jarvo just hit me up, my partner with Dave Wiloshin on the broadcast, and he said they actually did have a 10-7 lead in St. Louis against Missouri, but you never felt like that was Memphis's game and they blew the game. The only game that they've lost so far this year that they were in control was in the 3rd quarter when they had a 2-score lead over Tulane, and that one you could say, yeah, they blew it. Tulane came back and won it. You could look at it that way, but Memphis had a lead and blew it. Now Memphis has been able to come back to win games. Last-minute drive at North Texas. 10 points down with 7 minutes to go to win at Charlotte. So again, they're finding ways to win football games. Unfortunately, the defense has not been able to hold up its own end, especially later in the year and especially in second half of games. For whatever the reason is, they get worn down and the middle of that defense gets blown off the ball. By the way, 8 turnovers in the game, each team with 4 turnovers. Seth Hennigan, who after the game was very gracious with his time, we were talking to him, he said, listen, I know I'm not 100%, and I made some passes that I wish I had back, that I will be better down the road. I overthrew a couple of guys. One was an interception. But when he went down, you had Tevin Carter come off the bench. And of course, 2 weeks ago, Tevin Carter throws a pass that goes for 85 yards on a touchdown. Different situation here. Rolls around, throws a pass, it's picked off. So at that point, you go, even though Tevin has a great future, the Tigers are dead if Seth Hennigan's not coming back. And he was able to come back into this game, go for 329 yards passing, 32 of 48, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And then again, Blake Watson, who also came back from injury, goes for 83 yards on 22 carries, 2 touchdown runs, including the game winner in overtime. So again, there'll be people that'll try to call in, text in, bellyache about how they won the game and that they almost lost. Now, if they had lost that game, sorry, carte blanche, open lines, do what you have to do. But they won the football game. They won the football game. SMU won their football game over North Texas quite easily, 45-21 on Friday night, which sets up this huge battle on Saturday. SMU leaving the conference. We're all jealous, let's be honest. They're going to the ACC, and this is a chance for Memphis to pay them back and to be in a position to win at Temple, and then if they get help from Tulane, be in the conference championship game. So to rip apart this team
Doesn't make a lot of sense. But what we're talking about as far as the defensive lapses, that continues. That is unfortunately a part of what this team is all about. They are not blowing anybody out. They're having to battle down to the last second to get wins, and even more so in this particular game going overtime. But as long as they're coming out with the dubs, that's the difference between the team this year and last year.
Yeah. I mean, that's the bottom line is winning. It just doesn't it doesn't give a whole lot of hope to me for this weekend, because if you're doing that against Charlotte, SMU is. I mean, you get 4 interceptions against Charlotte, like you should beat them by 30.
One being a pick six, right?
Like that should even. There's no way that game should come down to overtime when you get 4 interceptions.
Right.
That offense just isn't good enough, and I mean they basically. It wasn't quite to the Michigan extreme, but they basically were saying, like, hey, we're going to run the football. Can you guys stop it? And they couldn't stop it. Like, I don't know. They probably should have ran it more. They probably should have done what Michigan did and literally not ever thrown the football. And I'm not sure that Memphis could have ever stopped them.
Right. That's why I said why they finally realized, stop throwing the ball, except to the tight end. They had 3 tight ends, and again, my motto in football is bootleg always works, tight ends are always open, and they were. He did not throw the ball or try to throw the ball to a wide receiver after that, and mostly just handed the ball off to Wilson, and Wilson did the damage. Yes, you're absolutely right. That's why SMU has been installed as an early line 6-point favorite to win in Memphis. They haven't had a lot of success in winning games in Memphis, but it's understandable why Memphis is an underdog in this game. And you're right, SMU. They have at least a legitimate defense and an absolutely potent offense. I haven't seen the total number for the game, the over-under, but it's got to be in the 70s, I would think. And the only way you're beating this team, you're not slowing them down. You're not shutting them out. I don't mean literally, but shutting them down. You got to outscore them. And just because right now it looks like on paper that SMU is going to come in here and they're going to just absolutely drill the Tigers, doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. Again, that defense, which has been bad, at times finds ways to make plays. And they're going to have to make a lot of plays against SMU. This one is going to be, if this is not a shootout, then I know nothing about football. I don't see either team slowing down the other team's offense. The question will be, can Memphis keep up with the SMU offense, because they're going to score. Lashley is going to have that team clicking on all cylinders. But I don't think, by any stretch of the imagination, the Tigers can't win this football game and finish where they want to finish, where they expected to finish, where their goal was at the beginning of the year, and that's in the conference championship game. But again, they don't control their own destiny. They'll need some help from Tulane.
Yeah, obviously, with UTSA continuing to win as well, the Tigers are still in that position. And then if they were to get the win against SMU and Tulane beats UTSA, it comes down to computer rankings. So,
yeah, and don't ask me. Don't ask me about the computer rankings.
And I haven't looked at those computer rankings to determine. I have no idea where those teams fall right now in those various computer rankings. But if it is a 3-way tie for second and none of those teams are ranked, it'll come down to, in the playoff rankings, it'll come down to computer rankings. We go back to the BCS days.
Yep.
And on all those computers that used to be put together to determine the BCS rankings, they pick a few of them out of there, and they will use those to determine who would play Tulane in the championship game.
Actually, it would be Michael Resco's call. Michael Resco just randomly picks a team. No, people.
Well, he eliminates SMU because they're leaving the conference,
yes,
and then
yes.
he decides between Memphis and UTSA.
People keep telling me that they believe, and I don't know how they've come up with the equation, but maybe they know a lot more than I do, that it would be Memphis. But again, Tulane would have to beat UTSA, and that's not a given. Tulane, I don't know if they're just kind of sleepwalking the last couple of weeks, but they barely beat Tulsa, who missed on a 2-point conversion to tie the game that sent it to overtime in New Orleans, I believe, on Saturday. And last week, barely beat East Carolina. So, again, I don't know if they're just, ho-hum, we're waiting for the conference championship game. But they haven't played real well. But as far as SMU, they have played well. And UTSA in the conference has played well. They have 3 losses in non-conference play. But you have
the top of the American Conference compared to the middle and the bottom is so lopsided. The 4 teams we expected to be at the top are at the top. Tulane and UTSA and SMU and Memphis. They were expected to be the 4 best teams. They are the 4 best teams. You can't ask for more other than win the games against Tulane and Mizzou, but you're in the position you wanted to be in at the beginning of the year. Now you have to find a way, because I already know how Monday's show's going to go next week if they lose to SMU, right? They played teams with a pulse. Tulane, they lost. Missouri, they lost. Everybody else they should have beaten. Okay, you're right. We talked about the conference before the season started. We talked about the opponents on this Memphis schedule. Memphis, Boise State, they fired their coach over the weekend. Not as strong as Boise State's been in the past, but Memphis did win that game. You can only play the teams in front of you that are on your schedule. But yes, there will be a landslide if they can't get it done against SMU. That makes this game incredibly important, not just for the season, really in Ryan's career. This is a big one on Saturday. Hopefully it will be a great crowd, the best crowd of the year. It's an early kickoff. I understand that doesn't help with the tailgaters, but 11 a.m. on Saturday. And like I said, SMU installed. We'll see if there's movement during the week, but installed as the early line 6-point favorite over Memphis.
I will say this, just looking at the first of the computer rankings that they use, Memphis is way ahead of SMU and Texas San Antonio. So
that person then knows what they're talking about and told me. And I believe them. I just said, I don't know. I don't want to deal with computers. I hate computers.
In the Wolf ranking, they are 32, SMU's 52, and UTSA is 68.
The old Wolf ranking?
That is one of them.
The old Wolf.
Trying to find the others here, but this one doesn't go past the top 25, so I got to figure out how to get the rest of their rankings.
Okay, but I'm sure that person had looked at this stuff. But again, you have it right there in front of you. You're playing them at home. You have so much incentive to win this game, plus to throw in the fact that you unfortunately are stuck in the American Conference and they're leaving to go to the ACC because they bought their way in. You want to pummel these guys. But it's not going to be easy just to even beat these guys. They're really good. They had deep pockets, and they have deep pockets to spend money on their players. So this is good. Look, we got a whole week to talk about SMU. But the bottom line is Memphis survived Charlotte. Got the win in overtime, 44-38. They beat the Fighting Pogies, and they now improved to 8-2, 5-1 in the conference. All right, when we come back, we're going to take a look at everything else that's happened in the world of college football this weekend, including the SEC. As the teams at the top continue to be at the top, we will discuss that on the program. Barrett Sallee a little bit later on in the show to talk college football, plus the firing of Jimbo Fisher. I mentioned the Boise State coach, Andy Avalos, was also let go, and there could be a lot more movement on the horizon, and maybe quicker than you usually see. And teams not waiting for the end of the season to make these type of moves. Later on in the program, we'll also talk NFL and plenty of basketball from the Memphis Tigers and their big win on Friday against Missouri and the Memphis Grizzlies. Town Village Audubon Park is senior living in today's world, located at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. So again, something you're looking for your future or a loved one, certainly have a look at Town Village Audubon Park. They're dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. The phone number to call to set up a tour is 901-537-0002 or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com. Independent living, short-term respite stay is available, even monthly options. Everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest, and all the modern amenities. Monthly rental with no buy-in. They got the apartments that are full with the kitchen, the washer, the dryer, all-inclusive resort-style dining, bi-weekly housekeeping, outpatient therapy, and then a great community social area featuring fitness center, home theater, game rooms, indoor pool, whirlpool, on and on and on. All the amenities you want for yourself or for a loved one for their golden years. 55 or older, Town Village, Audubon Park, 901-537-0002 or online at townvillageaudubonpark.com.
Yeah, there's another. The Billingsley ranking, the Tigers are also first amongst those three. So, and when you consider the other two would lose a game between now and the end of the year, and the Tigers wouldn't, I would guess that the Tigers would win the three-way tiebreaker.
I didn't know Peter Billingsley had a rating system for football. Peter Billingsley from The Christmas Story. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg at East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched, authentic wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get your Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South White Station and Quince Road.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 27 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick. Mango Habanero, sweet taste of mango followed by the heat. Or sweet maple bourbon. The taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And that's just 3 of the amazing 27 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. And now open the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the $9.99 lunch special. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 2 locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Atlin and Kirby-Whitten and 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Hopefully they'll have this crash wrapped up sooner than later here on Millington Road, right at Thomas Street. Again, it's been out here for quite some time. Traffic's on the increase now over here where you would expect Austin P Highway southbound, getting up on that ramp there to I-40. Still looks good right now coming in from Fayette County on 40 westbound as you come past 269. Weimer's Jewelry getting ready for the holiday season. Go by and see them this week with some specials going on at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So Friday, Jim Harbaugh was hit with a 3-game suspension. Already was in State College for Michigan's game against Penn State. They tried to get basically an injunction and have him it didn't happen because the judge wasn't going to have that hearing that quickly, so he didn't coach Michigan in Michigan's win at Penn State. This Friday there'll be a hearing as he tries to be able to get on the field for the game against Maryland on Saturday. That was the news on Friday. And then yesterday Texas A&M said, I'll take your Jim Harbaugh and I'll add a Jimbo Fisher firing during the season when we owe him $76 million. That one just blew the lid off everything, not only in college football, but really in sports in general. Everybody talking about it, everybody writing about it. $76 million owed to a college football coach. Jimbo Fisher let go.
Yeah, that's, people have always talked about like they're that buyout and whether that would be too much for Texas A&M to make the move, but Texas A&M, there is no, I don't know that there's a price tag high enough on anything to prevent Texas A&M from doing what they want to do. They have more money than they know what to do with, and it's a great gig if you can get it. $76 million to not work is, and it's an amazing, from Jimbo's side, like that contract where they gave him the extension a couple years ago after the good year that he had there. Mm-hmm. Like it's just amazing the amount of money that he will end up having earned from Texas A&M, and then the accomplishments with which that got them. It's just, you talk about he basically stole. He's basically stolen money from Texas A&M, and just the idea of getting $76 million to not work that is the American dream, folks, right there. That is the true American dream, to just be paid $76 million to go away.
Friend of the show, Ross Bjork, the Texas A&M AD, former Ole Miss AD, had his presser last night and said basically we are stuck in neutral and we got to cut our ties right now, cut our losses. 45-25 was Jimbo Fisher in season number 6 at Texas A&M. Again, owed $76 million. Has the national championship to his resume at Florida State. Just did not work out for Texas A&M. Now, it's weird. I kind of understand how schools have to make moves now. They can't wait until the end of the season, because not only is it the recruiting of the high school kids, the junior college kids, but now it's the transfer portal guys. You got to be in position. You have to know who that replacement is. I'm sure they have kind of an idea of which direction they want to go in, maybe even have a name or two that they've even discussed with. Who knows? But Texas A&M beat Mississippi State 51-10, and then they fire the guy.
Well, the decision had already been made.
Right, but still,
when the board had met and made the decision.
I know, but right before they're going to play Mississippi State, you know they're going to destroy Mississippi State. And then Boise State, they fire Andy Avalos, a former player, so that was tough. Boise was just 5-5 this year, but still in the hunt in the Mountain West. And they won 42-14 over New Mexico over the weekend. He was 22-14 in his tenure at Boise. They pulled the plug. Again, there's a lot of reasons why they're firing these coaches this early, but man, Jimbo Fisher and $76 million owed to him. Have they named the interim? Is it Petrino by any chance?
No, it's not Petrino.
Well, it should be, for goodness sakes. And then you have a million names that have popped up
for the Texas A&M job. What prominent name, what local name pops up right away? Regional name? Lane Kiffin. And Lane Kiffin quickly squashed that and said, I don't want to go down that road again.
Defensive line coach Elijah Robinson.
But with
we need more Eli's out there anyway, so that's good.
Yeah, there you go. But with Auburn, when Auburn was open before they hired Hugh Freeze, which again I think is a great hiring, Lane Kiffin and that whole situation there that he was being talked about as the possible replacement, stays at Ole Miss, likes it at Ole Miss. Now, of course, his name pops up prominently for A&M, along with a bunch of other big names. That is a big-time job where money is no object.
Yeah, they again, and they were able to steal Jimbo Fisher away when they did that for Florida State. Like they could pay whatever they need to pay to try and get whoever they want to get. So yeah, it's the world is available to them because everybody probably has a price tag. Texas A&M can match that price tag.
In the meantime, on the field over the weekend, the teams at the top of the college football playoff standings all did their job to remain undefeated, and that includes Georgia, although not number one in the college football playoff rankings. They are number one in the AP poll, and they have been number one since 1947. They win again, and they blow out Ole Miss, 52-17. That's what I've been saying about Georgia when people say, well, they're not as good as the last two teams that won national championships. Well, for me, it seems like Georgia's kind of against a few opponents going through the motions, and then when they want to step up, they could just turn it on at the drop of a hat, and they turned it on. The running game was absolutely incredible. You had Kendall Milton going for 127 and 2 touchdowns. You had Dwan Edwards going for 59 and 2 touchdowns. And then Carson Beck was 18 of 25 for 306, 2 touchdowns and a pick. When the running game's going, it opens up things for the passing game. They got Brock Bowers back. Defense limits a high-octane Ole Miss offense to 17. Georgia, man, don't count them out from winning 3 straight because Georgia's right where they need to be.
I don't think anybody's counting them out.
I know, but I keep hearing they're not as good as the last 2 years.
Well, they're not.
Shut up. How do you know?
Like those are.
How do you know they haven't lost?
Entire defenses in the NFL. Like
they haven't lost.
But this was an impressive showing. I did not see that kind of domination of Ole Miss coming. And Ole Miss marched right down the field on the first drive, scores the touchdown. Oh my God, this is we're in for a good one. And then it just from that point on, I mean, 611 total yards. Like this was the coming out party kind of for the Georgia offense. Now, whether they can continue that and all that, but I don't. This was a statement. There's no doubt that, and I would assume. I think this probably moves them to number one in the college football playoff rankings, but we'll see tomorrow night on that. But this was a definite statement of, hey, we are still really, really good, and we deserve to be at the top of those rankings.
I agree. It was a statement. And this is an improved Ole Miss defense under Pete Golding, and they took them behind the woodshed. And then you went Alabama, go into Kentucky, and clobber the Wildcats 49-21. Jalen Milroe, different player the last 4 weeks from what he was at the beginning of the year. He accounts for 6 touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. So we know already that the SEC championship game will pit Alabama and Georgia. I can't wait. The way Alabama's playing right now, I'm not saying they're going to win that game. I still think Georgia wins. But now, with what they have done recently, this could be epic.
Yeah, Alabama certainly looks way better because Jalen Milroe looks way better than where they were early in the year when they took the Texas loss.
Amazing what a quarterback will do for you.
We'll see how that plays out. In that championship game against a very good Georgia team, who again looks like they have turned it up a notch. But yeah, it could end up being a great matchup. That if Alabama were to win, then that could shake things completely up as far as the playoff is concerned.
Tennessee will play Georgia this week. Georgia's a 10-point favorite. I don't know why they're only a 10-point favorite because Tennessee looked like snot. They went to Columbia, Missouri. They lost to a very good Mizzou team, 36-7. I know Memphis Tigers fans are saying, man, we played them a lot closer than Tennessee did. Cody Schrader, 205 yards rushing. He was shredding the Tennessee defense. 35 carries, a touchdown as well for Cody Schrader. 36-7. What has happened to Tennessee?
Well, they're just not that good, especially if they don't run the ball. But I mean, Schrader, you forgot the 116 receiving as well. I mean,
yeah, it's true.
The dude's a walk-on, transfer from a Division II school, walks on at Missouri, and the dude against Tennessee goes for 321 total yards.
But the funny thing is, we've been talking about how bad the Memphis defense has been. They bottled that guy up for 3 quarters in the Dome. Now, he got a little bit loose in the fourth quarter. They wore him down, that big Mizzou offensive line. But they did a pretty good job on him. This guy went wild against Tennessee.
Yeah, and he had 100 was over 100 last week against Georgia. Goes for the 200 here against Tennessee. He's having an incredible year.
Auburn, what they did to Arkansas, and they could have did more. Now I wonder, after Arkansas got the win last week, losing at home like they did to Auburn. Auburn's a season away. Wait till Hugh gets his guys. They're going to be there'll be yet another force in the SEC, and they've been a force in the past, obviously. But Arkansas got throttled, so I don't know. I know there's the big buyout, but you saw what happened in College Station with a huge buyout, a record buyout. I don't know about Pittman. 48-10. It was 48-7 or 48-3 in the middle of the third quarter. I saw that score. I was looking at scores on my way back from Charlotte. What?
Yeah, Arkansas. It's games like that are not good for a head coach. You have to earn a little good favor to turn around and give all that back. Their offense is just has done nothing for the most part here late in the season. It doesn't look good for Pittman. I have no idea what way it'll go. I could very well see him being fired. I could also see it where basically they give him another year because of the buyout, make some more. He's already made the offensive coordinator change, make a bunch of staff changes, and see if things can turn around for next year, and he goes into next year in an extremely hot seat.
South Carolina buried Vanderbilt 47-6, and then LSU outscored Florida 52-35. Jaden Daniels very much in the Heisman race, 606 total yards and 5 total touchdowns for Daniels.
That is those numbers are video game numbers, man. You don't throw for over 350 yards and rush for over 200 yards in a game. I don't even that's like insane. I mean, hell, Johnny Manziel didn't do that. So those guys didn't. Dudes who had historic seasons didn't do that stuff. Cam Newton didn't do that stuff. That's crazy.
I know you talked about Billy Napier before the season started and predicted him being fired. I don't think he will be, but that to me is a fireable offense. I mean, to give up that many points, that defense, Florida's an embarrassment defensively. They really are. And then offensively, they scored 35. So that's a pretty good production. But to give up 52, to give up 606 total yards to their quarterback, I don't care how good he is. This is Florida. Florida's got some pride. So I don't know if Napier gets fired, but I do know this. Our talk about the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game not possibly having an SEC representative looks even more like reality because, again, Florida, Arkansas, they're all losing. Mississippi State, they're all losing. Interesting, I think he had nothing else to do, but the executive director of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, Steve Earhart, at the Memphis Charlotte game. He has a lot of friends, though, so he probably had a Saturday off, but Wolo's talked about it.
They go to the American. That's if they don't have an SEC team, the contract calls for them to go to the American for their team.
Right, but where do they want to go in the American? They want to go to Memphis.
Well, yeah.
And so I don't think there's any question that is a possibility. What was it, 6 years ago that Memphis played in that game?
I don't know what.
Somewhere in that neighborhood?
It was.
Yeah, maybe 6 years ago. But that is a possibility. Again, it does not look like these SEC teams that are kind of on the bowl bubble are going to make it. We're talking about Florida, South Carolina, Arkansas, Mississippi State. I think still they're all technically alive. And then, Vanderbilt, obviously, they're done. So that's it. Already the other 9 have clinched spots. But the SEC has so many
connections to bowls, and then you have the playoff, you have the New Year's Six games, and there's going to be a lot involved. Do you think, is it possible for the SEC to get 3 in the New Year's Six plus 1 in the playoff? Missouri, Ole Miss, Alabama, and then get Georgia, assuming that Georgia beats Alabama in the playoff.
I wouldn't expect that. It's possible,
overload?
I guess.
Maybe
but
overload?
I don't expect that would happen.
Okay. But again, that's a possibility, as we've talked in the past here, the last week or so, and we'll continue to talk until we find out who exactly will play in our bowl game here in Memphis.
We do have a few texts that we will get to coming up. Of course, we'll get to the Tiger basketball, Grizzlies, all of that stuff as well coming up in hour number 2 of the program. But we do, if you want to text in on the college football, including the Tigers or the SEC, you can do that, 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. That is the Sports 56 listener line, which you could text or call in. This hour of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at the corner of White Station and Quince. Last night, I was doing some more cooking on my Big Green Egg, which I got from East Memphis Ace Hardware. They are a platinum dealer with a Big Green Egg, which means they got all the different eggs. They've got all the different egg accessories, everything you need over there at East Memphis Ace Hardware. Plus, of course, everything else that you need for any of those DIY projects around the house. Maybe you're doing some painting, anything else, any kind of stuff that you need to get done. They've got your supplies, and they got a great staff to help you find exactly what it is that you need when you go see them at East Memphis Ace Hardware in the corner of White Station and Quince.
Just underway, hour 1, Sports 56 mornings on this Monday, November 13th, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hey, everybody, that to-do list for the holidays? Well, you're going to want to write this down. Go to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. A lot of these new Silverados have red tags, and Kevin and Jeff said they'll get you financing as low as $1.9 or $2,000 cash. You can get one of these new Equinoxes with financing as low as $1.9 or $1,000 cash, and your good credit deserves it. And look, I'm out here in Olive Branch, and All-Star has any new Chevy you want. Tahoes, Trailblazers, and a lot of families I know love these new Traverses with all the cargo space and third-row seating. And so can you. And do more together this holiday season. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare. You get $500 bonus. And if you want certified pre-owned Chevys or any pre-owned car, All-Star has a lot full. Silverados, Ram trucks. Here's a Nissan Rogue, Lexus, Honda, Suburbans, Jeeps. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or even Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
How's the Christmas shopping going? Yeah, that's what I thought. But Frontier Western Store will make it a lot easier. Everyone loves something from Frontier. They have thousands of coats, shirts, and boots. Outfit the entire family today. Looking for a Carhartt beanie? Frontier has every color they make. You'll find a whole wagon full of beanies. You'll also run into the largest selection anywhere of in-stock Carhartt and Ariat jackets and coats. They have endless aisles, an astounding collection at amazing prices. Don't forget the boots, work boots, and dress boots from Rocky, Dan Post, and especially Ariat. Frontier is the place to shop for name brand boots at the lowest prices every day. Way lower than chain stores and online. Thousands of boots in all sizes for men, women, and children. Not sure what to get? Frontier gift cards are always the right size, color, and price. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Hey fellas, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and this year it happened on October 17th. I had my first gentleman ask me what he should get his special lady for Christmas, and my answer was this: get her something she will enjoy and get her something she will absolutely love. Think about her likes and her dislikes. You might even ask her what she wants. Then, come let us show you the finest, most beautiful jewelry in Memphis. This will be our 38th Christmas, and for many of our customers, they've been with us for every one of those 38 years. They come looking for beautiful gifts, fine jewelry that makes a lady's eyes sparkle, but they also know that they will receive quality and service that is unsurpassed in Memphis. And at Russell Brothers, you can play St. Nick knowing that if you don't make the right choice, our money-back guarantee will allow her the ability to exchange her gift for one that she really does love, or she gets your money back. For 5 decades, we've helped thousands of Santas. We'd love to help you. Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ06203 MSRP 44,355 84 months 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545 MSRP 33,185 Sport RU 001 004 MSRP 27,850 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a little change in my pocket.
Of course, Saturday was Veterans Day, and ran into a few veterans who are Memphis Tigers supporters. You know John Stacy's name. He's been a big supporter for years and years. He was at the game in Charlotte, and he asked me if I would pass along on the radio show their VA hospital program. What it is that you could purchase a Tigers ticket, football ticket, for the game on Saturday against SMU, final home game of the season, and then transfer that ticket to the VA hospital program for one of their veterans to use to come to the game. They started the program back in 2015. They've sent a couple thousand vets to games since. The program has helped with PTSD, rehab, and even homeless veterans. So if you want to do that, if you want to buy a ticket to the game on Saturday for a veteran at the Memphis VA Hospital, just call Wesley, who's the ticket manager over at the University of Memphis, 901-678-1740. I'm sure you could stop by as well. You could also donate tickets that aren't going to use by transferring them to John Stacy's account. That's jstacy1959@gmail.com. Help the veterans. Let them get out and watch some Memphis football. Enjoy a Saturday afternoon over at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
Some text here in the Sports 56 listener line. Our buddy John up in Covington says, great football Saturday. Memphis Tigers win. Alabama clinched the West. Kiffin was blown out, and the Missouri Tigers beat the Vols. I can see a lot of people that
he has his priorities.
Like that combination of things happening. Drew says the only difference in this year's team and last year's is the opponents are worse. They would have easily lost the Charlotte and North Texas game if they were playing UCF and Houston instead. It's the same Silverfield coach team. We will get exposed this weekend.
I mean, it's not a crazy take, okay? I would disagree. I think they're a better team, but text us next Monday after that SMU game because you'll have a platform right here on this show to talk about that because that is, it's an interesting comparison.
Another texter says Charlotte is clicking and playing much, much better at the end of the first year with a new coach. They will be a top team next few years on the eastern side of the conference. Tigers found a way to win again, but man, I'd like to see that defense step up this week.
There's no eastern side of the conference. There's no divisions. He's right about Charlotte. They've played better. They do have actually pretty deep pockets with their NIL so they can spend money. He's gotten a lot of 70 new players. It's mini Colorado, basically overhauled that program. Here's the thing. We have seen in the last several weeks, East Carolina play Tulane tough. We saw Tulsa take Tulane down to the wire. We saw Charlotte play Memphis into overtime. There are some teams that are at the bottom that will get better. There's no question about it, that it will tighten up. But if you're a Memphis fan, certainly you expect the Tigers to be at that top of the list with UTSA and with SMU's gone. UTSA, and who am I missing? Tulane. Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest here. Like, okay, Charlotte's won a couple of games here, but it's a walk-on quarterback who threw 4 interceptions and a fifth-string running back who had 1 career carry.
Yeah, in this particular game, it shouldn't have come down to the wire.
Let's not act like, oh, man, this isn't nothing wrong with this.
I'm not saying that.
Charlotte's clicking, man. This team's going to be good. Like, come on.
I'm not saying that. That's the texter. But what I'm saying is they have the NIL money. They're going to add 12,000 seats to their stadium. It's a cute little on-campus stadium. But they have the resources financially to attract players in this NIL world.
Another texter says, keep it simple. If the SEC doesn't have enough teams for the Liberty Bowl, put Memphis in.
May very well happen.
But it goes back to the last time we had it, like, for Memphis. Is that truly a reward for the players, which really all bowls are?
I think it sucks.
To stay in your hometown and play in your home stadium in a bowl game. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, if I'm a Memphis player, I don't want to play in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Sorry. We do that every week.
I'm the sideline reporter. I would want to go to Fenway or go down to Tampa. Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to our local bowl, but my gosh, if you're living in the city, no, that's not where you want to go. It's like Navy playing in the one in, what is it, the military? Is that the one in Annapolis? Playing in your home stadium? No, it's not that fun. Come on, let's be honest here.
Reggie says, what happened to Tennessee? They have no accurate quarterback. Yeah, and for Tennessee, at this point, I don't know why you wouldn't go to Nico
Suave
the rest of the way. Like,
yes.
What are you doing with Joe Milton right now? Like, you're not going anywhere, obviously, so why would you not get Nico in there, get him experience, and get him ready for next year? Like, do
you throw Nico to the dogs on Saturday against Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
You don't want to get him killed. The last game, who do they play after Georgia?
I don't believe they've killed a quarterback yet.
They may. Who do they play after Georgia? Vanderbilt?
Who do they have left? What do they got?
Vanderbilt. Yeah. Throw Nico in for Vanderbilt.
I'm surprised he did. I don't know why they didn't go to him against Missouri.
Yeah, I agree.
Brad texts in, says, Jimbo being fired surprised. I'm hoping Pittman is not after a disaster in Fayetteville and not qualifying for a bowl. Brad is a Arkansas fan, so there's an Arkansas fan that doesn't want Pittman fired.
We all love him.
He also says, Clippers now 0-4 with the big four playing together. Technically 0-5 since the trade. That's a whole other thing we'll get into when we get into the Grizzlies. But that Clippers thing is not, surprisingly enough, not working out well with James Harden. Who would have ever guessed it?
I got a text that says it's a big payday for the school against a Big 12 opponent. So that's why you like that game. But I think if you ask the players, every single player, like you said, would they want to stay home and play on their home turf, or would they rather go somewhere else?
I understand from a school's perspective because, yes, it's when you don't have the expenses of the travel and everything else. From the school and program perspective, it makes sense. My thing is bowls are really just a reward for the players. Mm-hmm. Other than the playoff, that's all they are. If I'm a player, I would be like, and I've seen this locker room. The beaches in Memphis not beautiful this time of year. Like I don't I don't want to play another game in my home stadium as my final thing. Like if you're a senior, like, cool, we get a bowl game my senior year. Where'd you go? We played in our home stadium. we went nowhere. We did nothing. We got to go to the Bass Pro Shops and play in our home stadium.
Right. It's great for the
Can't you go to Bass Pro Shops anywhere? Yeah, anytime. Yes, I can. I can go to Bass Pro Shops anytime I want.
To go to these events that are associated with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl for visiting teams from out of the area is fantastic. They do an unbelievable job. This is not a knock on our bowl. This bowl is one of the oldest bowls. They do an unbelievable job. But again, really, what player would want to stay and play at home? I don't think there's one player.
Yeah, this isn't just a Memphis thing. It'd be like that. If I'm a player at any team that hosts a bowl game, I don't want to play in that bowl game. Like
Show me
I want to go
Florida.
somewhere. I want to go somewhere.
Ding.
Like that's the part of the whole deal.
Yes.
You get a week or whatever away and have a good time. And fans want that as well. Fans don't want to just sit at home, like and go to their homes. Hey, our 7th game at the stadium this year rather than just 6. So no, again, from a school perspective, makes complete sense. From a player perspective, it would suck, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Raider Corey texts in, says, another fabulous sports weekend. My team's culminating with a tough Raiders win last night. Tigers basketball, Tigers football, and the Grizzlies grind out unexpected road wins. Also, wife and I met some more new wonderful friends up at East Coast Wings. Yeah, I got to see Raider Corey and his lovely wife up at East Coast Wings on Friday night. They were there to watch the Tigers and the Grizzlies as well. Of course, all of the games are always on at East Coast Wings and Grill with plenty of TVs while enjoying great food. I know Raider Corey's wife had the Philly cheesesteak flatbread that I talk about all the time. Absolutely loved it. Of course, you can have the wings, 60 flavors of wings to choose from, including some new flavors that they've added to the menu. But those flatbreads are outstanding. Burgers, sandwiches, salads, all kinds of great stuff on the menu. 24 draft beers on tap, all the other drinks you want, plus a great staff and great people, just a great atmosphere to go up there and watch the games. East Coast Wings and Grill located on Kate Hyde Boulevard. That's right between Lowe's and Walmart off of Highway 64. For all of the action, go check them out at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Ross Dellinger reporting that Mississippi State is firing Coach Zach Arnett. More details when we return for Hour 2. And I promise we're going to talk Tigers basketball after that epic comeback on Friday night at Missouri. And the NBA, of course, the Memphis Grizzlies finally get off the schneid, get a win in Los Angeles. We'll talk about that when we return. Hour 2 on the way. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number
386-GRR, 386-4777.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee must finance through Hyundai. Forte LX SPE 694,095, MSRP 21,610. Sportage R722, 7239, MSRP 28,715. EVP 560, 3393, MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit dealer stock only. Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips. 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Or a big family that needs more room? 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room, $299 a month. $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind, 134 City, 101 Highway, MPGE, $379 a month. $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. That volume of traffic has really increased as we stare at it live here on 40 West coming in from Fayette County into Shelby County as you continue west on I-40 from, let's say, Canada Road all the way up to Witten Road. It's busy up to Midtown now on 240 going northbound up by Lamar as you also travel 55 coming up from the south through DeSoto County in and through South Haven. That's also on the increase with volume. Hey, get rid of that old junk car today by calling Memphis for junk cars. It's 901 area code 258-8999. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:05 the time, hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you. The Monday, November 13th, 2023 edition. It's already become Black Monday with coaching firings coming in left and right. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Their overstock sale continues at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. As you get your Monday going, 47 degrees. With partly cloudy skies, we're looking at mostly cloudy today. With a high, though, about 71 degrees. That's not too shabby. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 48 degrees. Second hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. They're your family's jeweler, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. And just in time for the holidays, you can go over to James Gaddis Jewelers and look at all their great fine jewelry, and they are adding every single day. Watches of all types, custom-made jewelry, gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, and so much more. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know? With their win at Missouri, the University of Memphis men's basketball team jumps to number 26 in the country in the Ken Palm ratings. Ken Palm, a friend of the show. They were 36 last week. They move up to 26. Later today, we'll see if they crack the top 25 of the Associated Press poll. That will come out later on in the day. As I mentioned, some breaking news
late in hour number one. I'm not sure who first had the story, but I'm going on Ross Dellinger's tweet that Mississippi State is firing Zach Arnett just 10 games into his tenure. He was 4-6. Obviously, he got the job after the sudden passing of Coach Mike Leach. The school owes him around half of his remaining salary, roughly $4 to $4.5 million, but has offset language if he gets another job. Greg Knox will become the interim coach in Starkville.
Yeah, I mean, this in a lot of ways, it was almost he was set up to fail in some ways. Obviously, it's a tragic thing to even put him in that position, but part of it is his own doing. The idea of changing that offense completely without the personnel, but then you add in the fact that you lose Will Rogers to injury. Jaquavius Marks is out with injury. Like, that offense was not going to be able to be good. There was no chance. Their offense has been awful here over this last few weeks. It's, as Blake Topmeyer said last week, it's always felt like he was an interim coach, even though he technically wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, the feeling always was, it always seemed like, and I think there's probably people around the country that thought he literally still had the interim tag, even though he didn't. And it just, he was put in a rough spot, some of it, again, his own doing, trying to change that offense completely to something that really doesn't fit the personnel that was there. He'll get a job as a defensive coordinator somewhere. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But yeah, and now we'll see what direction Mississippi State can go. It's going to be that's a tough place to coach, especially when you now are adding Texas and Oklahoma as well. Like, you're just being knocked down a couple other rungs on that ladder. So that is going to be a tough gig.
We'll get Barrett Salih's reaction to everything in college football in less than 20 minutes. Connor O'Gara will join us tomorrow. He's tweeted out a nice photo of Dan Mullen in his Mississippi State, not uniform, but in his jacket and his wool hat, and it says, "Could it happen?" ? Mike wants to talk a little Tigers at 360-8255. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I think the big difference in our defense this year is that we get the big turnover or the stop at third or fourth down. I mean, the other team gets a lot of empty yards,
Well, I think you're right to an extent that they have had their moments with big plays.
And as far as like walk-ons or fifth-string guys, somebody forgot to tell Tennessee to watch out for that walk-on up there in Missouri.
Thank you, Mike. 360-8255. We've been talking plenty of college football. Memphis' win over Charlotte. They are 6-point dogs against SMU this Saturday at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. And obviously, we'll be talking a lot more about that big game as the week progresses. But it was a big game Friday night for the Memphis Tigers men's basketball team as they rolled into Columbia, Missouri to take on an SEC team. Not picked in the top 3 or 4, let me make that clear. But anytime you go up against Missouri, especially on their home court, the Antlers, they're a tough student body. They are ferocious. It was a sellout. And the Memphis Tigers, after falling behind by 14 in the first half, and they were down 10. Actually, they were down 14, to Missouri. They come back and win 70-55. The UM defense holds Missouri to 32.1% field goal shooting and allowed only 22 points total in the second half. They got big games from a lot of different players. Caleb Mills mostly guarding Sean East in the second half, who had a big first half. East had 14 in the first half. He was held scoreless by Caleb Mills. Javon Quinterly showing the type of leader he can be with 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. David Jones, 10 and 10. Jaquan Walton, 13. Jordan Brown off the bench, 12 and 5. Mills at 8 and 4. It was a team effort with a capital T. Rick Stansbury once again in for Penny Hardaway, and they get a huge W, and they need a lot more of these in their non-conference portion of their schedule to be in a great position going into conference play and then the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that second half was just a complete domination, and defensively, that's really impressive. That's a good Missouri team that's going to score a lot of points. To hold them to 22.5 is incredible. A lot of guys getting involved, especially early when you fall down and get that crowd into it, everything else. I was worried that maybe that they could even get away from them, but to come storming back and then do that in the second half, that's a really impressive win. I would assume, and we'll see where Missouri goes, but I would guess that will be a quad one win for the entire season. I can't imagine Missouri would fall low enough where a road win at their place is not a quad one win. So getting a quad one win right off the bat, that's a very nice start.
Yeah, we saw maybe some nerves there early in the game, and they allowed some dribble drive penetration, some layups, easy shots for Missouri. And then they cranked up the defense in the second half. I don't know what was said at halftime. We'll talk to assistant coach Andy Borman on Wednesday morning and find out more about what went on in the locker room. But it was a different team coming out of the locker room. I mentioned Mills defensively, what he was able to do, and then chip in with 8 points and 4 rebounds. He was terrific. And you really saw the guys that you expect to rise to the top for this team come through. Mention the names. Quinterly played 34 minutes. Walton played 33. Mills played 33. Got 27 from David Jones. And then Jordan Brown with just 17 minutes, but impactful. 6 of 10 from the field. Ends up with 12 points, 2 steals, 5 rebounds. Rick Stansbury did not go really deep with his bench, especially in the second half. You saw a little bit of Jaden Hardaway. Jalen Young played 6 minutes in the game. I don't think he played in the second half. You had Nick Jourdain in that rotation. That was it. I think he went 8. I think that's as deep as they went in the second half. But again, just a tremendous defensive performance. Offensively, 70 points is solid. It wasn't certainly what they did in the opener, but they played Jackson State in the opener. This is a Missouri team that is good. Not great, but a Missouri team that did get some votes in the polls. So we'll see what happens later today when the top 25 comes out. But Memphis gets the win. Now they are back to practicing. More time to really find that continuity. One more game for Penny to sit out. That'll be this Friday when they take on Alabama State. That's our friend Tony Madlock, former Memphis Tiger player, former Memphis Tiger assistant coach. And then you use that as the tune-up, the springboard to go to the Bahamas for the Paradise Jam the week of Thanksgiving, with your first game being Michigan and a chance to do some damage in that tournament. Yeah.
That after, and then you look coming out of that, other big non-conference games upcoming here. So continue to play like this. Got a chance to rack up some really good wins here before you get into conference play. When, again, there's not going to be much there. So you need the wins that you can get right now. And, again, a true road win at Missouri, that one's going to stand up well, I think, by the end of the year.
Yeah, I wonder, and I haven't really looked at it too closely. I know that St. Mary's lost, and they were 23rd. I know Michigan State had lost to James Madison. I'm not sure how many other top 25 teams lost. And Memphis was kind of lower in the points, like more like 35, 36. So I don't know if they springboard everybody, jump everybody, and get into the poll. But it wouldn't be surprising, because I would think the movement early in the polls is more violent than it will be later, where you can have somebody that jumps in from, if you extended the poll 35, 36, jump them into the top 25, because nobody had played games. That was the preseason poll, and now you're getting your first one really where there's been action, and you can adjust a little bit, and voters will do that.
Yeah. I have no idea. I know as of last Friday when we talked about it, there had not been a top 25 team that had lost other than Michigan State, but now others have lost. I don't know. Michigan State's not falling out of the top 25.
And Duke's not falling out.
I don't know how many at the bottom of the top 25 lost that would fall out of the rankings.
Right. But they'll be close. They'll get a lot of votes. They'll get a lot of consideration. In the meantime, on the professional hardwood, the Memphis Grizzlies, Friday night, play-in game number 2, lose to the Utah Jazz for the second time this year. The Jazz, not a very good basketball team, and the Grizzlies, we know that they right now are not a very good basketball team. They lose 127 to 121. That could have went the other way. Des Bane had 37 points. But the big story was the ejection of Jaren Jackson Jr. and the subsequent tirade by head coach Taylor Jenkins, who said saddle up or saddle in or whatever the hell he said after the game, because he went off on this tirade that got him a $25,000 fine from the NBA. And I say good on Taylor Jenkins. Just good in the fact that, look, there were Horrible calls. But I think it all kind of boiled up to that point, and he had to let it out. All the frustrations of everything that has happened this season. Hopefully Bobby Pera will reach into his pocket and pick out the $25,000 and just pay it off for him, because I am very glad that the mild-mannered Taylor Jenkins went off the way he did. And I don't know, maybe it helped, because yesterday they got a win over the Clippers.
Yeah, it's for a coach to come in and call the officiating effing atrocious. I was like, whoa, Taylor. Like,
I know.
You did this like nobody does that. No coach. Like, you could have like coaches talk about officiating. Nobody just comes in and calls it effing atrocious.
And not just atrocious.
Like, I was
effing
like,
atrocious.
Wow, that is
weren't you?
That is something. That is
made you want to clutch your pearls a little bit, man.
That's not exactly take that for data. I mean, that is pretty much directed to the point. Like, that is there's no data needed there. But
he imploded in a good way, I think, for us, for everybody associated with this city, and for the Memphis Grizzlies themselves.
And I didn't get to see the game because I was doing the hustle game, but I heard that it was absolutely brutal.
It was bad.
Especially the Jaren before the ejection, the 2 straight trips, he got just completely hacked with no call. But yeah, good for Taylor. Good for him. Hell yeah. Obviously knew he was going to get fined, but stick it up for his guys. And yes, I think there's no doubt that there is a frustration level that's building up when you are 0-5 at home. I don't know for whatever reason, they cannot stop the Utah Jazz. The Jazz just score at will, especially in first halves against them. That's now 79, and what did they have in the first half of this one? 76? 79 and 76 in the 2 first halves against the Utah Jazz this year. So yeah, there's no doubt there's a lot of frustration building up, I'm sure, on everybody's part, and yesterday's win eases a little bit of that. Just good to see them get a win and have a little fun, but yeah, I'm sure there's still quite a bit of frustration, and we'll see if they can pull out any more wins on this road trip.
Well, basketball's it's a funny game. Yesterday, you go up against 4 Hall of Famers: Kawhi Leonard, PG-13, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. They have not won a game since Harden came over. In fact, their losing streak even goes back before he even came to LA. So I think this streak is 5, and they're 0-4 with Harden. But still, with the Grizzlies coming in at 1-8, a road game in Los Angeles, you figured that the Clippers, even as dysfunctional as they are right now, that they would win that basketball game. And they would rally twice in this game, come back from big deficits. And once they tied it up, I thought, oh gosh, they're going to end up losing this game. And then the Grizzlies making plays down the stretch to win it. Marcus Smart, one of his better games in a Grizzlies uniform, 17.7 assists, great defense, hit his free throws. You had Desmond Bane do what he does best, score the basketball, 27 with 6 assists, 4 rebounds. How about Bismack Biyombo? I know they're going to wait until 25 games, but he is going to be signed for the rest of the season. 13 points, 12 rebounds. He had a couple of blocks. The guy has been consistently putting up double-doubles. What else do you need? That you had Steven Adams. You lost Steven Adams. You got this guy going in there. He's blocking shots. He's setting screens. He's doing what Adams did. He's not as good as Adams, but he's doing what Adams did. This guy is going to be signed, and they're going to have to cut a player or make a trade. Somebody's getting cut on this team because Biyombo has been really, really good. But that was a game down the stretch that they were melting down, and you thought they were going to blow it, and they won it. I give them an awful lot of credit. Now they got the Lakers tomorrow night, and we'll see what LeBron's status is. AD played yesterday. But, boy, you talk about a much-needed dub.
Yeah, when the Clippers tied it up the first time, I was like, oh, yeah, this thing's over. And then, especially when Harden got the 3 in the corner, it deflected it to himself, and then makes the 3, I'm like, this is going to be just a brutal way to lose a game. Like, this is just going to be, and it just keeps adding on. But yeah, great job to finish it out and get a win. A win that was sorely needed. Now it'd be nice to get a home win sometime in the near future when they get back home to break that losing streak. But and yeah, we'll see what happens with the health of the Lakers and all of that going forward. But just this team really, really needed a win of some sort and to get that. And yeah, Biombo's been fantastic, and certainly you would think that he is going to be here the rest of the year. What move they make, I don't know if there's any sort of trade to be made or if it will just simply be letting somebody go. But he is certainly, he's done to this point what you wanted him to do, what you need him to do, and looks as though he can fill that place for the rest of the year. You don't need to go try and find somebody else in that role. Looks like he is, I think, good enough to fill that role.
Now, again, 2-8 ain't going to cut the mustard. They got to figure out a way to string wins together, and it won't be easy. Lakers on the road. Then they have the Spurs after a few days off. I assume they'll return home and then go to San Antonio. Boston comes to town on Sunday the 19th. They got to go to Houston, and all of a sudden Houston is playing out of their minds. Phoenix still to come. Minnesota has been terrific. Utah again. It doesn't look good. It really does not. But at least that was a lift. It was what they needed. They got the dub, and you have to build on that. It will be awfully tough to do so, though, with that schedule coming up. They're still incredibly shorthanded. There's still guys on that team that are getting minutes that are not contributing at all. They had Zaire Williams come off the bench. He didn't play much, didn't do anything while he was in. That's been a mess. But then they find somebody like Jacob Gilliard, who's actually given them some pretty good minutes in Derrick Rose's stead. But really, it was nice to see Marcus Smart play the all-around game that he's capable of doing. And then again, I am floored by how consistent Bismack Biyombo has been, just kind of walking off the tarmac into a car, and all of a sudden playing for Memphis the last few games and playing extremely well.
And they put in Gilliard into the starting lineup. Kind of puts everybody into their role.
Yes.
That they will be in when Ja comes back. Now, Ja comes back, all you're doing is putting him in there for Gilliard. So we'll see if that's what they want to continue going forward, but it kind of lets everybody set in their spot in the rotation, the starting lineup. The guy, Marcus Smart, is playing the position he's going to play when Ja's back.
Right.
And Gilliard's done a terrific job.
Good job.
He did a great job last year with the hustle. Earned himself the two-way contract right there at the end of the year, and he's just a solid guy. He's not going to be spectacular. He can make a shot when you need him to make a shot, but he's a hell of a distributor. He did a really good job in the two games over the weekend.
Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed-control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. They were over at my house just a few days ago. That's because they take care of your lawn 12 months a year. During the summer, they're applying what they call post-emergence, and then during the winter, pre-emergence, to control the germination of weeds when spring comes. And those weeds come out on most people's lawns who haven't had that type of fertilization company serve them. That's why you need to do so now, because they're taking care of it. So when, again, spring is sprung, those weeds aren't sprung with it. You won't have to worry about it at all because they're controlling the germination of those weeds. They can also take care of any disease your lawn has or any insect infestation. They're not a lawn mowing service. They're a lawn treatment service. They've been around a long time, locally owned and family operated. LawnSolutionsInc.net is the website. Check them out there. Or just give my friend Brandon Holly a call. He's the owner of this company. He's a great guy, and he has a team of professionals that can take care of your lawn today. 901-867-5626, 901-867-5626 for Lawn Solutions. When we come back, Barrett Sallee joins us to talk college football and all the coaching moves that are being made. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Colette's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Colette's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's, Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on Sports 56. Real sports talk.
Hey, if you're hungry for great Mexican food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, got it. La Guadalupana. Guadalupana. Choose from tacos, burritos, enchiladas, sizzling shrimp, beef, or chicken fajitas, and even a Cuban sandwich filled with Mexican sauces, chicken, ham, steak, jalapenos, avocado, and more. How about super nachos topped with melted cheese, beans, sour cream, guacamole, tomato, and jalapenos? All great with nice cold beer, domestic and imported. Good prices, generous portions, great service at 2 locations, Summer Avenue and Cordova Road. La Guadalupana.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. There's been a couple of minor wrecks out here in the last 15-20 minutes. It's just now really starting to build as you travel down I-40 westbound, coming in from Fayette County up by Canada Road, Chambers Chapel. Traffic's on the increase finally over here on Billmore's Parkway 385 as you come out of Collierville, headed towards 240. Weimer's Jewelry is getting ready for the holiday season this week. Go by and see them at 7525 Highway 64. That's Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I thought going into the weekend, the biggest off-the-field college football story would have to be Jim Harbaugh, right? Not so fast, my friend. It has been quite crazy yesterday and now this morning, another firing in the world of college football. And here to talk about that, plus some games that were actually played on the field, Mr. Barrett Sallee.
It's time to talk some college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Barrett Sallee from CBSSports.com, CBS Sports HQ, and SiriusXM Radio. Here's Barrett Sallee with Greg and Eli.
Make sure to follow Barrett on Twitter at Barrett Sallee. Do you have all your alerts ready to go, Barrett, when something breaks here in the next 3 minutes?
So I got done running at like 8:50. And I come down at like 8:55 in my office, and I thought somebody got punked by a fake account. Like, I was like, okay, somebody created fake Famel, Dellinger, Brandon Marcello. I was like, there's no way Mississippi State fired Zach Arnett. And yet, here we are.
Okay, is there a reason why we've had 3 firings since yesterday? Is there a reason why they're happening now as opposed to the end of the season?
Oh, yeah, for sure, because transfer portal's coming up.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I think last year, since it was kind of the first year of the window, I wouldn't say teams were caught off guard, but I think a lot of coaches voiced displeasure, like, if I get hired, this is impossible. And we had Hugh Freeze on our show yesterday, and I've talked to him many times about it, and he said that first couple weeks at Auburn was a disaster and not fair to him. And I get it. Like 100% it's not fair. So, yeah, it's all about the transfer portal because you have to get somebody in who can immediately recruit your own players, like recruit the players on the roster. Otherwise, they're going to go in the portal immediately. And like, I get it. If they go in the portal, fine. Like, it's new coach. But you have to be able to sell your vision to the players immediately. So, yeah, that's exactly why this is happening. And, I mean, the NCAA made this bed. They got to sleep in it, and as a result, we're getting firings this week. And, you know, Hugh yesterday on our show, he said something that I think is perfect. After championship weekend, not the regular season, after championship weekend, have a 7-day portal window. It would make things so much easier.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it used to be back in the day, you know, it was like, could you get a guy in to be able to recruit by, you know, the first Wednesday of February?
Right.
But now with the early signing period, plus the recruiting with the portal and everything else, like, you can't, like, you really need your new coach almost immediately as soon as the season ends to make sure you're trying to get everything in line for the next year, or you fall so far behind.
Yeah, and it was unfair even before this portal window because, you know what, depending on the year, it's like, what, the 17th, 18th, 19th of December when the early signing period is for high school kids. Like, even that was unfair because you're hiring coaches, you're hiring assistants, you're, you know, trying to figure out who's committed, you know, and who you want to get, you know. So even that was unfair. And you throw in this portal window, which got condensed this year, which is fine. It should be condensed more. But, I mean, that's exactly why this is happening. But the Mississippi State thing, like, what the hell is Mississippi State doing?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you hire Zach Arnett to replace a legend, like literally a guy who changed football forever, who unexpectedly died, right? Like, this is not like hyperbole. He literally changed football forever. And Zach Arnett gets thrown into the fire unexpectedly. He's never done this before. He's in the toughest neighborhood in college football. And you fire him, what? I guess he coached the bowl game, so 11 games into his career. Like, that's I don't understand. Like, unless they have some big name on the hook or there's something we don't know about off the field, I can't imagine.
Or they just looked at this product and they go, this guy's not the guy to take us there. And in this day and age, that you don't give coaches time anymore. You just don't.
But if anybody deserves time, it's Zach Arnett. Like, I know coaches don't get time, but I can't think – this is like the other extreme because I can't think of another coach who was fired mid-season of his first year for the product, right? Mid-season first year. Now, after the season, Okay, it wasn't Kevin. I think Kevin Steele got a year at Baylor, and then they fired him. There aren't many, but
But you just said why not the full year though? You just gave an eloquent reason why they can't wait.
Right, but those coaches don't deserve a mulligan. Like, if anybody deserves a mulligan, it's Zach Arnett.
But you also have an AD that didn't make the move with him.
No, I get that.
So, yeah,
and you're right about that. And I think there is the Texas-Oklahoma thing that's looming out there, too.
Sure.
That the entire conference changes next year. And I guess that plays into it, too. But, I mean, the only thing I could figure is, like, I know I gave an eloquent, and I appreciate the compliment, reasons why people are getting fired yesterday and today. But, I mean, if anybody deserves a little bit more time, it's Zach Arnett. So that's why I say, like, look, there's either they've got somebody on the hook, or a big name, or at least a name that would really put Mississippi State on the map, or there's something off the field. And I've never heard of anything off the field.
Yeah,
so I can't imagine that.
I would bet against something off the field, and I would bet against something they have a big name on the hook. I just think in this day and age, all bets are off, man. This is crazy. Well, let me ask you about Jimbo again.
Hold on, before we get to Jimbo.
Okay.
Dan Mullen.
Yeah, I saw some people tweet that out already.
How funny would that be?
Can you go back home again? I mean, I guess you can. It's not unprecedented that a coach in sports hasn't come back to their old stomping grounds. Just
Bill Snyder did it.
Yeah.
Billy Martin did it 4 times with the Yankees, I think it was. So I guess it can happen if that's
Bobby
your best
Cox
option.
did it.
That's right.
Bobby Cox did it.
So
that would be fun. But he's good on TV.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You were talking about timing and everything. So I tweeted this out yesterday. This is obviously before Arnett news from today. Avalos at Boise and Jimbo, they both get canned the day after their two teams combined to win their respective games by 69 points. I mean, what? Timing, forget about it. It's just like geography in college sports. Timing is also out the window. So $76 million they're going to eat down in College Station, as Ross Bjork had his presser yesterday and said, basically paraphrasing, we're not going anywhere. We're kind of floating there in the same. So what do they do? Where are they going? What direction?
Money's not an issue. And it's not because they pass the hat around. It's because they have a small pool of big-time donors who they can go to at any time. And that's it. Like the $200 million facility that they're building, or I guess they might be done now, they basically said, hey, you guys want to pull it together? And they said, yeah. And then the same thing happened with Jimbo. I think the biggest thing was that there were some folks who weren't on board until a month into the season, probably the Miami game. So this has been in the works for a little while. So the money's not an issue. I think what needs to happen for Texas A&M, like they went for the splash hire with Jimbo. They need to go for the right hire. I don't care who it is. Like they can't just go get Deion Sanders, right? Although that would be awesome for content. Oh my God, that would be awesome. But go get Mike Elko. Go get Jamie Chadwell. Go get Jonathan Smith at Oregon State. Although Tom and I talked about this yesterday. It's kind of got a little bit of a Brian Harsin feel, although Jonathan Smith, a much better coach and has done it, B, at a Power 5 level. I think those are the guys you kind of got to look at. Lance Leipold. Those are not sexy names, but they're the right names. And I think that's the bigger issue. That, getting people on board with firing Jimbo is one thing. Getting people on board with the next step at Texas A&M is more complicated.
I wonder what the handshake after the game between Jimbo and Zach Arnett was like the other day, because it's bizarre.
Hey, bro, you got some time? You want to come hang out at the beach?
Like, it's so bizarre that the two coaches, you coach a game against each other and then you're both fired in the next 48 hours. But that's, again, there's just nobody has patience. And especially if you're the AD that didn't hire the coach and everything else. But now Texas A&M showed plenty of patience with Jimbo, but the extension they gave him after the what was it, the 2020 season, 2021 season, that was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, that was a COVID year.
Oh, it was 2020?
Yeah, because they went 9-1, and we're on the brink of the playoff. Or I mean, they thought they were, but it was they were on the periphery. They were probably the next one out, the first one out. But and that I think goes to something that I've talked about really since the COVID year is don't take anything from it. Zero. Don't take anything from it. A&M fell into that trap. I think some other schools fell into the trap. And honestly, I fell in the trap in the other direction with Jim Harbaugh, because they went, 2-6, I think, that year. And I was like, Jim Harbaugh is done. And that was wrong, obviously. That was A&M. They doubled down, and man, it came back to bite them. But again, money's not an issue.
No, it's no surprise that Michigan had a bad year. There were you couldn't have fans in the stands, so they weren't scouting opponents. They couldn't get tickets to games.
That's a very good point.
Why do they have to give these coaches extensions in this day and age when it used to be, you have to give them the extra year or two because a player's going to be there 4 or 5 years. You got to make sure players don't stay anymore. They don't stay. What's it matter to give the extension to these coaches that already have 3, 4, 5 years on their contract? All you're doing is wasting money.
And that's the next reset, right? That's the next reset because we've seen Jimbo with the 10 years. I get it. I don't get it, but I understand the link. If you're wanting to, I'm not saying take Jimbo the whole thing out of it. I hated the Jimbo hire from the get-go. But if you're going to hire a coach for 10 years back then, okay, I don't think that's 10 years is a little too much, but I get it. Long-term contract, whatever. Now that selling point doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist,
right? It's just, and I'm interested to see if more teams take the role of the state of Mississippi because they can only do 4-year contracts.
Yeah, you don't think they're regretting giving Mel Tucker a 10-year deal at Michigan State? Are you kidding me? You got to give him 10? I understand the hire at the time, right? But gosh,
I don't understand the hire at the time.
Well, I liked him.
The Mel Tucker extension was the dumbest.
But
that was literally
I don't get
season.
These extensions. It doesn't make any sense to me.
The Georgia statement win over Ole Miss, does that enough to move them into number 1?
I did. I did after the Missouri games, but I had them, below Michigan before then. But yeah, I think in the playoff rankings tomorrow night, that'll be enough because the committee's going to look at that and say, look, number 9, that number next to their name matters a lot to them because that's where they put them. That's going to be a massive win. So Michigan beating Penn State, okay, yeah, it's big. Ohio State, we know what they've been able to do, but I think the statement win by Georgia and the way that it went down, yeah, that'll be enough.
Do you give Alabama more of a chance or the same chance or less than a chance to beat Georgia with the way they've played recently?
More of a chance, just because, and it's not anything Georgia has or hasn't done. It's just that Alabama has really found itself and figured out its identity offensively, and because of that, it's more dangerous. Now, I think Georgia could, maybe slow them down a little bit, and I think that they would win. But Alabama's finally sort of coalesced around this one sort of identity offensively, and they're executing it to perfection. So, yeah, definitely more of a chance. I don't think it'll happen, but Alabama's coming on at the right time.
In the Big Ten, we give Ohio State credit for the win over Penn State. We'll give Michigan credit for the win over Penn State. But how good is Penn State just better than the trash of the Big Ten, but not good enough?
Yes.
We go, it's a great win. They beat Penn State, but is Penn State a great win, or does Penn State just happen to be that other team in the Big Ten that actually has a pulse?
It's the other team. That's it. I think Penn State with that defense and that running game, they're a top 20 team, which is fine. That's just what they are, and it's a solid win. It's a good win for Michigan, but and look, it checks the box of on the road, a pretty good team. They got that's their biggest win, and the committee's going to like it. But are they the team that maybe some of us, I didn't think so, but maybe some of us thought would be good enough to contend for that division? No, they're not even close.
Yeah, Franklin went out and fired his OC.
Where do you think they would fall in the SEC this year? How many teams would you say are better than them in the SEC this year?
Oh, probably 6. Let's go down. Alabama, Georgia, not in no order. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Missouri.
Yeah, I don't know about Tennessee, but maybe.
I don't know about Tennessee either. Missouri for sure.
Yep. 5 or 6, right? 5 or 6.
Yeah.
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 That's the way they have no offense, Penn State. They don't have enough. And that whole damn conference doesn't, except for Ohio State and Michigan. That's why it's those two teams every damn single year. I mean, I get tired of it too, but they're going to have one team that's going to win, and they're going to beat the West team, and they're going to be in the playoff. We know there's going to be one spot right there. And then I was looking at this. I know we're out of time here, but Georgia and Alabama, I think Georgia would win. They're undefeated. Florida State, I don't see them losing to Louisville. I see them going undefeated. Michigan or Ohio State, that's your third. The question is, if Washington runs the table, it's pretty simple. You have your 4 playoff teams. If Washington loses, especially if it's to Oregon in the championship game, then you got the one-loss Washington, the one-loss Oregon, the one-loss Texas, the one-loss Alabama would have lost to Georgia in that scenario. But you have a bunch of teams to make it really interesting for that 4th team.
Yeah, I think it'd still be pretty simple in that case. It'd be one-loss Oregon.
Over the one-loss Texas?
That's the second best conference in the country by far.
You agree with that, Eli?
Yes, again, because Oregon is already ahead of Texas. Like Texas would do nothing to catch them. I don't see how you wouldn't have Oregon if they're already ahead of Texas.
And they'd have a win over a top 5 Washington.
Yeah, they would get a win over Washington, and Texas is going to beat. Hell, I don't know who the hell they might play in the championship game now. The Big 12, nobody wants to play them in the championship game apparently. So yeah, I don't see. There's no way Texas could catch them.
No, that's a fair point. He is Barrett Sallee, CBS Sports HQ, Sirius XM College Radio. You can follow him on Twitter at Barrett Sallee. Catch him every Monday talking college football with us. Don't go on a jog; you may miss something.
Oh gosh, I mean, I don't know what would shock me more than what we saw this morning. Not gonna lie.
Get ready, Sam Pittman, baby. You're in the corner now.
Oh, God. No, geez.
Get ready. Thanks, Barrett.
See y'all.
Take care.
Fleet Feet, speaking of running, place to go to get all your running gear, that would be Fleet Feet. You want to make sure you get shoes that are just right for you, and they'll do that for you by taking a look at the way you run or walk and then fitting you with shoes that are just right for you. We've got the Memphis St. Jude Marathon, which is just a few weeks away now. No, folks are getting ready for that. Make sure you got everything you need as you're out there training and getting ready for that. And if you need even advice on how to train or get ready for a race like that, well, the folks over at Fleet Feet, they're all runners. They can help you with some advice as well. But for the proper shoes, all the other gear you need, you can go find them at either one of the 2 locations. They're in East Memphis in the Laurelwood Shopping Center, out in Collierville, Poplar, Houston Levy, right there next to Huey's. Online, FleetFeetMemphis.com. They're all over social media as well, keeping you up to date with things they've got going on that you can get involved with at Fleet Feet.
Don't want to slight the women. Got some news from the University of Memphis women's soccer team and their women's basketball team as well when we return. Then hour 3, we'll get into the NFL, and then back to your calls and texts on every sports topic we have discussed so far on the day. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The Black Friday sales event is on, and you better run, not walk, to Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Plus, Gossett's got no payments for 90 days. That's right, 90 days, no payments. Take your pick, 2023 Dodge Charger SXT or 2023 Dodge Challenger SXT, $6,000 off MSRP. Or check out 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn, seat 6, 6,750 pounds towing capacity. We Gossett at $11,000 off. And if we don't have what you're looking for, Gossett can order it today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
Charger PH 50 8657, MSRP 35960. Challenger PH 596577, MSRP 36345. Ram PN 523262, MSRP 55755. Financing and deferred monthly to well-qualified buyers through Chrysler Capital or Stellantis Financial Services. Take retail delivery by 11/30/23. Includes all rebates and incentives. $695 PF. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/23 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck, because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hey, everybody, that to-do list for the holidays? Well, you're going to want to write this down. Go to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. A lot of these new Silverados have red tags, and Kevin and Jeff said they'll get you financing as low as $1.9 or $2,000 cash. You can get one of these new Equinoxes with financing as low as $1.9 or $1,000 cash, and your good credit deserves it. And look, I'm out here in Olive Branch, and All-Star has any new Chevy you want. Tahoes, Trailblazers, and a lot of families I know love these new Traverses with all the cargo space and third-row seating, and so can you. And do more together this holiday season. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare, you get $500 bonus. And if you want certified pre-owned Chevys or any pre-owned car, All-Star has a lot full. Silverados, Ram trucks, here's a Nissan Rogue, Lexus, Honda, Suburbans, Jeeps. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or even Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Big challenge for the University of Memphis women's basketball team as they will play at the University of Tennessee tonight. Actually, late in the afternoon, 5:30 p.m. scheduled tip. I believe that's Central Time. Game can be seen on the SEC Network Plus. Memphis under first-year coach Alex Simmons, 1-1, and she goes up against her alma mater. Just great to be able to have that opportunity for these young ladies to go up against a power like Tennessee, which already does have a loss this season to Florida State. Also, congratulations to the University of Memphis women's soccer team. They are a 6th seed in the NCAA tournament, despite being the number 8 ranked team in the country. And they opened up the NCAA women's soccer tournament with a 2-1 win over LSU on Saturday night. They scored real quick. And in fact, they had 2 quick goals. LSU was able to get back into it, but a 2-1 win. Great effort by Memphis. They will now play Notre Dame. The game will be in Fayetteville, but we don't know the date or the time. It's going to be sometime this weekend. Could be Friday, could be Saturday. I'm not so sure at this point. They haven't announced it yet, but they'll play Notre Dame in the round of 32. So I mentioned Connor O'Gara, who's on our show tomorrow, had tweeted out a picture of Dan Mullen, Eli. Well, he had Dan Mullen back in August on his Saturday Down South podcast. And this was the quote from Mullen. I love Starkville. If you want to associate me with coaching somewhere, you say, hey, what is your school that you coached at? I'd say Mississippi State. That would be the school that I would claim over, obviously, Florida. Doesn't mean that Mississippi State would have the interest in bringing him back or even that Dan Mullen would accept. I think he would. But that's interesting. I mean, there have been coaches that have come back to coach at a place that they either left to go somewhere else or were fired. It's not unprecedented. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case, but that could be. If you're just tuning in, Zach Arnett has been let go in his first full year as Mississippi State's head coach.
Yeah, I have no idea what, and I don't even know the background of this AD. I don't know if there's any ties to any certain coaches or anything like that. So, but certainly they could do worse than Dan Mullen.
What do you think about Texas A&M? Because I see the names that are being thrown out there from Mississippi State, the Lance Leopolds. We just talked to Barrett Sallee about that. Rhett Lashley's name, he's the SMU coach. But Texas A&M, he had brought up Jonathan Smith, who's a really good coach at Oregon State. Who else did he bring up?
Well, the thing with Texas A&M, like, everybody's on the table because they have the money to go get. But they'll take big swings.
That's my point. They're going to
connect like they did last time. I don't know, but they will take big swings. That's because they have the money to do it, and that's what those boosters and that fan base want to do is take the big swing.
And that was the point I was driving at here, is that it seems like with Texas A&M, not only will they take the swing at the big name, they'll eventually, more than likely because of the resources, land a big name. So I would be surprised if they went with a relative little-known or unknown coach, although successful. And that's the point that Barrett was making. Jonathan Smith is a really good coach. He makes a lot of sense, but he's not a name. And it seems like A&M always needs to make a splash.
Yeah, and, like their Mike Norvell's. Again, every coach in America's name will be tied to Texas A&M pretty much, other than Saban and a few others. But because, again, they have so much money that people believe they get. But if I'm Mike Norvell, I'm not leaving Florida State to go to Texas A&M.
Nor am I.
It didn't work for Jimbo, one. But with where he is in the ACC right now, I wouldn't be getting involved in the SEC with Texas and Oklahoma, coming into the SEC to make that even harder.
If he left, and he's not going to, but if he had left Florida State to go to A&M to replace Jimbo, Deion Sanders goes from Colorado to Florida State. Here's the thing, though. We just talked about how they have to have coaches in place to keep their own players from jumping into the portal, and then, of course, the recruiting for the high schools and the junior colleges. If you're looking at a coach that's going to be in the playoff and try to throw something, all kinds of money at Norvell, you can't do it until down the road. Now, you may know something between the walls that something's going to happen, but you really can't go after that player or it's or that coach or it's tampering, and that coach is going to be around a long time. They are going to be playing deep into the season, more than likely into the playoffs. So that's also a situation that's thrown into the fire of when you can get these coaches.
Dan Lanning's name is one that I've seen on lists, and that there's interesting with your team moving conferences, all of stuff like that. I don't know what any of those guys want to do, but when you've got shakeup and suddenly you're playing in a completely different conference and traveling across country, all of that stuff, who knows? Again, Texas A&M has the money to go out and get a lot of guys, and they could set you up. Not that most of these don't, but they certainly can set you up for life, as evidenced by the Jimbo Fisher contract and what they're paying him to not coach there.
I don't think they're ever going to give it another 10-year deal. I don't think it's ever going to happen again. By the way, if I'm Mississippi State, and I don't know, but and the name that I've just seen out there on some lists, and if I'm any of the program of that type, Jamie Chadwell is my number one guy. Yeah, I like Jamie a lot.
That dude just knows how to coach, and his offense is fun, which would be good if at Mississippi State.
Yeah, going back to what Leach brought, right? Arnett wasn't doing it.
You need a tough, reliable tractor to tackle those tough chores? Well, go see the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment. They can do that for you with the Case IH Farm All series of tractors, plus bush hog equipment and much, much more that you'll find at Mid-South Ag Equipment. The Case IH Farm All series, great for whatever it is that you need to get done, a great value as well. The tractors are just, it's a name that's been around, of course, forever and ever, and that's because of the quality and the value you get with the Case IH Farball Series. You can find them at MidSouthAg.com online, or you can go see the folks at Mid-South Ag, just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. Take I-269 to the Goodman Road exit, and they are just a half mile west. Very easy to get to and find the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment.
All right, we'll talk some NFL when we return, then get back to your calls and texts. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Memphis attorneys. 5100 Poplar Avenue, Suite 2932, Memphis, Tennessee, 38137.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park, we got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand-dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062 MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 06545, MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 00104, MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still limited traffic volume over here on 40 westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way up to Witten Road as that traffic continues to build coming in from Fayette County. Still not too bad up through Midtown. It tried to get a little bit busy a few minutes ago northbound on 240 up by Lamar as traffic continues to come up from the south there on 55 northbound up through DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry, they're back open better than ever just in time for the holiday season. 7525 Highway 64. Go by and see them this week at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 3 of the program. I know we always say it's a busy show, and most of the time it is. Man, today it lived up to the hype. With 1 hour still to go, we still got a lot to touch on. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you on this Monday, November 13th, 2023. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their overstock sale continues at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Currently, got a little mixture of clouds and sun. We're looking at a high today of 71. Right now, it's 52. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 48 degrees. Want to talk some NFL here, and then we'll get back to your calls and texts on all the topics that we have touched on. Interesting, though, that we had an NFL week that included a record 5 game-winning field goals as time expired. 5.
Oh, it was a great day of NFL football yesterday. The noon games, like the endings of the noon games, like there was like 3 games at once, and you're trying to they're all coming down to the wire and field goals. It was a lot of fun. That was a fun day of football yesterday.
It wasn't for me. I lost every NFL play yesterday, every single one. Now, could I have been as lucky as this guy? Well, no, because I don't bet the kind of money this guy did. But did you read about this payout? For a parlay, let me get it for you. One of the largest payouts on a parlay bet ever reported by a U.S. sportsbook came down to the final seconds, and a winning drive authored by Houston Texans rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud, who has been incredible. A bettor in Florida won $5.5 million on a $500,000 4-leg NFL parlay with the newly reopened Hard Rock Sportsbook when Texans kicker Matt Amendola hit a 38-yard field goal on the final play to lift Houston to a 30-27 win over the Bengals. The 4 legs of the same-game parlay were the Texans to beat the Bengals, the Texans-Bengals to go over 44.5 points, Texans running back Devin Singletary to score a touchdown, and Singletary to go over 51.5 rushing yards. He had 150. They all hit. $5.5 million. First of all, I don't have $500,000 to throw around on a bet. But still, you got to have the cojones. I don't care how rich you are to throw that kind of money down. But that was a big payoff. Man, oh, man.
Brandon gave you the easy, the Cowboys yesterday was as easy as betting gets.
It was.
The Cowboys versus Tommy DeVito they had beaten them 40-0 with Daniel Jones. You throw Tommy DeVito in there that there was not going to be enough points.
They could have had Phil Simms. They could have had Eli Manning. Giants weren't winning that game. Cowboys, absolutely dominant performance. We played them, me and my son, in our survivor pool. A lot of teams had already had the Cowboys. So a lot of teams, because there were a lot of surprises, the Bengals losing that game, a lot of people lost in the survivor pool. We coasted to the win with the Cowboys. But, I didn't put any coin on that. I would have to put a lot of coin just to make a little bit of money.
Well, you take a minus the 17. There was never a doubt.
Yeah, but it was still, what was the payout? Minus 110?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a normal point line.
Yeah, I know. I got to have some. If I'm going to play, I got to have a little.
Oh, you want to lose? That's right. I forgot you want to lose.
I want to lose.
I forgot you want to do the parlays and lose.
College football.
Because losing $10 is way better than winning $10.
Well, it doesn't. It's wasting my time for $10. I mean, I'm not betting a lot, but I'm going for better odds. And look, I hit on NBA. I hit on college football. NFL is like, it's not even worth my try going out there and playing the NFL. It's too tough. It's too damn tough. All right, let's go over some of these games.
And here's another one. Bet CeeDee Lamb over his receiving yards every week.
Yeah.
And A.J. Brown over his receiving yards every week.
Yeah. No, you're right. So are you a millionaire now?
No, but I did really well yesterday.
I'm not being sarcastic.
I did very well in the Cowboys game yesterday.
I'm not being sarcastic. I'm sure you're probably
and I
way
did
up
very
there.
well in the Lions-Chargers game yesterday because I had a lot of guys over.
Another college football coaching move. This is not a firing, though. Brady Hoke has announced he will retire at the end of the season. He's the head football coach at San Diego State, formerly at Michigan.
Somebody says Brandon also gave us the Jaguars. That was not a good one. But the Cowboys was his paddle game.
Guess which one I lost? The Jaguars. I lost on that one. Indy,
What did you bet them?
I had the Jaguars in a parlay with Cincinnati. They lost.
So the Jaguars didn't lose it. You would have lost anyway.
And the Steelers, and I got the Steelers. Steelers was -3. I don't know. It was just, you know what? I woke up. I was so tired from Friday. Got back from Charlotte. I'm in my bed. I slept late Sunday morning, the only time I could sleep late. And I'm like, my eyes are like, got stuff in my eyes, sleep in my eyes. And I'm trying to make a couple of plays just to make. I didn't even look at it. I didn't even study it. It was stupid. It was a waste of money. I go out there and I watch the team. Cincinnati losing that game. They had been on a run, a roll. Cincinnati, I thought, would win that game. I only had them on the money line. All they had to do was win the game outright. They come back. They rally after the pick by Stroud. The only thing he did bad was that one pick. I think the entire season he's been great. And then he leads them to the drive. They get the game-winning field goal. I lose the game.
The one thing, one thing to know about the NFL, as soon as you think a team's really good, they will lose.
Yes.
It's just the way the NFL is.
Yes, you're right about that.
It is a crazy league.
Unless you're the Patriots.
You just don't you can't comprehend a lot of the stuff that goes on in the NFL. It was funny at the end of that Jaguars 49ers game when they were trying to get McCaffrey the touchdown to set the record. If he would have scored, that'd be ultimately embarrassing for the Jaguars. When literally that the only thing they are doing is trying to get this guy a touchdown. So there is no doubt, there's not a chance literally in the world that anybody else is going to touch the football. So good on the Jaguars to at least be able to stop him there. Now, they didn't stop him the rest of the day, but if he would have got that touchdown, this would be the most embarrassing thing ever for the Jaguars when all they're doing, for 100%. You don't have Connor Stallions you don't even need Connor Stallions to tell you, hey, the ball's going to Christian McCaffrey 4 straight times.
And then McCaffrey, after the game, he didn't get the touchdown. He said, what did he say? Something like, I'm just not a very good player, or something like that. Something to that effect. I'm like, oh, my gosh. All right, so in Frankfurt, Germany, the early game, Indy, my Colts, they're 5-5. They beat New England. So New England is one team that is bad and continues to be bad. They score 6 freaking points. Come on. Let's be honest here. When are they going to give up on Mac Jones? I know they finally benched him. Bailey Zappi came in. He threw that critical fourth quarter pick. Mac Jones did. Jonathan Taylor had a touchdown run for the Colts, 23 carries, 69 yards. That is sad with the Patriots.
After
all those years,
this is as bad as it's ever been under Belichick. And the thing yesterday, I get it. He threw the terrible interception, all that, but that was unfair to Bailey Zappi. But, hey, you've been sitting on the sideline all day. Go run the 2-minute drill and try and win the game.
Yeah.
What?
It's ridiculous.
I mean, you talk about putting a person in a place to fail. That's impossible. Hey, get warmed up. You got the 2-minute drill. We're going to try and go. We're going to get one drive to go win the game. You're going to do it. Yeah. Good luck to you, buddy.
Yeah, but come on. I think they've seen enough of Mac Jones to know that he's not the answer. But New England, what have they done over the last 20 years, right? You feel bad for these guys. So they're now 2-8. Tampa Bay beat Tennessee 20-6. Tennessee with Will Levis at quarterback. Again, he's done some good things. They're lifeless, this team. They have Derrick Henry. They have DeAndre Hopkins. 6 total points. Bucs snap a 4-game losing streak as they improve to 4-5. Houston and Cincinnati, we just talked about that game. C.J. Stroud, he's got the Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's wrapped up. Give it to him today. He may end up, who knows, depending on where Houston is at the end of the season, if they're in the postseason, he has a chance to be the most valuable player. As a rookie, it has not happened since the 50s. And D'Amico Ryans is a great chance to be the Coach of the Year. They won how many games last year, Houston? 3? 3 or 4?
Was it 3? They screwed themselves by winning the last game, was it? Or something like that to lose out on the draft pick?
Yeah, Zach, can you check that? I think it was 3.
Or 2? Might have been 2, and they lost the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Like that. I can't remember.
They have won.
They didn't win many.
They've won 5 games already. They're 5-4, and they beat the Bengals in Cincinnati. Come on, C.J. Stroud. Incredible.
No, he has been nothing short of awesome. As I said last week, I didn't see it for him this quickly. I thought he could be a good NFL quarterback, but I did not see him coming in and doing it right away. And, I mean, yes, the interception was terrible and gave Cincinnati a chance to try and come back and win that game, but that's the only mistake. The dude just doesn't make mistakes, and he continues to make throws that are just unbelievable. He puts it right on the spot it has to be, throws into small windows. You know, they didn't have Nico Collins, their best receiver. Doesn't matter. Noah Brown goes crazy. You've got Tank Dell going crazy. They're playing without Damian Pierce. That doesn't matter either. Devin Singletary steps in. But Stroud's the one orchestrating it all. He has just been absolutely he just outdueled Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was looked like the best football of any quarterback in the NFL. And here he goes at home, and C.J. Stroud just comes in and beats him. That's crazy.
Total of 3 wins.
3-13-1. The Texans were last year. And again, I don't want to go down the avenue. It's too early. That was a mistake by Carolina taking Bryce Young. It's just a different situation right now in Carolina. He's got no help. I want to see Bryce Young playing a lot more games before I make a judgment on him. But C.J. Stroud, I'm ready to make a judgment. This guy, I think, is the real deal. Pittsburgh beats Green Bay 23-19. They're now 6-3. Green Bay drops to 3-6. Cleveland and Baltimore had a doozy. Dustin Hopkins winning the game on a 40-yard field goal as time expired, and Cleveland wins in Baltimore to go to 6-3. Baltimore is 7-3. That AFC North is crazy.
Yeah, and I don't understand how Baltimore blew that lead in that game. It looked like they were completely in control of that game. And again,
Lamar made some mistakes.
Just when you think a team's really good, they find a way to do something to say, hey, we're not that good. Slow down. We're not that good. There's no way they should possibly lose that game with that lead. Give Deshaun Watson
some credit. Yeah.
He made some plays after the disaster early and some bad, the pick six right off the bat and everything else. But he made some plays and made some key plays. And at the kicker missed the extra point to tie the game, gets the second chance and comes through with the field goal. You talk about going from goat to hero in a hurry. That life can change quickly as a kicker in the NFL.
Yeah, I felt bad, man. They come back. Looks like they're going to tie it. He missed that extra point. I thought they were doomed, but they came back and won. San Francisco throttled Jacksonville. You just made the point about Jacksonville. Just when you think they're good, all of a sudden, or if you think they're bad, somebody comes. 6-3 now, San Francisco, 6-3 Jacksonville. Brock Purdy, people are starting to question, is he a system quarterback? He doesn't have all his weapons. He's not as good. No, he's not as good without all the weapons. But he's still darn good. 19 of 26, 296, 3 touchdowns. You'll take that any day of the week. And he outdueled Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence made mistakes. 2 picks, lost at least 1 fumble that I know of when I was watching. Just a bad performance by Trevor Lawrence.
Well, first of all, offensively, Deebo Samuel back in, they look a lot better.
Right.
I mean, when you have McCaffrey and Samuel, it's tough. But
it doesn't mean any quarterback can make all those plays and all those throws.
No. Now, the first touchdown was a prayer that should have never been thrown that you ended up getting. But yeah, Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey just make that team really hard to guard because of the versatility. And then, when they went out and got Chase Young, that pass rush, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, the first drive, he got sacked twice. He started the second drive. They're all over. That pass rush is nasty. And then you throw in the linebackers with Fred Warner. Like, that defense up front is tough to deal with, and it's going to be tough to deal with for anybody. And if they stay healthy, they're certainly going to be right there, because if Samuel and McCaffrey are healthy, that offense is just completely different.
Warner and Boza, that combination, you're right, Chase Young, but there's others on that defense. Just incredible. Minnesota, they beat New Orleans 27-19. They are now 6-4. 2 straight weeks without Kirk Cousins, who was having a great year before he got hurt. They bring in Josh Dobbs. I still don't know if Josh Dobbs has an apartment yet. He probably is just in a hotel. He wins again. 23 of 34, 268 and a touchdown, 8 rushes for 44 yards and a touchdown. The Saints lose Derek Carr. Jameis Winston comes in, threw 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 2 picks. But Josh Dobbs continues to be the story for Minnesota.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. At least this week he knew who he was throwing to. Knew the guys'
You knew their names?
So that made it a little easier on him. But, yeah, it's pretty incredible to come in and do what he did last week and then turn right around and be impressive again this week and get another one against the Saints defense. That's actually pretty darn good. Their offense, not so much, but their defense is good. That's a pretty incredible story.
Arizona beats Atlanta. I don't know if they were trying to win, but they win 25-23. They're 2-8. Atlanta drops to 4-6. Matt Prater, 23-yard field goal to win it as time expired. Kyler Murray back for Arizona, 19 of 32, 249, threw a pick, 6 rushes, 33 yards, and a touchdown. I don't know if they're showcasing Murray for other teams or they're going to keep Murray, but Arizona in the mix for the number 1 pick, get a W. Again, they're out. I know the players are out there trying. They're trying to win. I kind of said that tongue in cheek, but it doesn't help. They're now 2-8, but they did get another look at Kyler Murray and will continue the rest of the season as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, and the one run he made was that's what Kyler Murray can do. That dude is so fast when he gets going, and dude ran backwards like 30 yards and then turns the corner and he's gone. He can make some special plays, especially with his legs. Thank you, by the way, to Atlanta for finally realizing that Bijan Robinson is pretty good.
Yes.
And you might actually want to just let him touch the ball once in a while. The last couple of weeks, they're finally, I think, realizing that. So they're letting him touch the ball. And weirdly enough, good things seem to be happening when Bijan Robinson is touching the ball.
Did Heineke start and then Ritter came in, or how did that work?
Got hurt, yeah.
And he got hurt and then Ritter came in. Okay. All right, we'll get to the rest of the NFL when we return. We're also going to listen to that epic rant by Taylor Jenkins and talk about where that stands as far as the annals of rant history. We'll get back to your calls and texts on Tigers basketball, Tigers football, college football in general, the NFL, 360-8255, all coming up as we continue here on Sports 56 Morning. Still a lot to get to. I do want to tell you about Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, one of our great sponsors, a Memphis tradition for 4 decades, and they have been catering for that same length of time. As soon as they started getting into the catering business. And you can have any event, no matter how small, how large, catered by Corky's. Get that delicious slow-smoke barbecue. They can start you out as low as $8.99 per person. Now, when you head over for lunch or dinner, add a third of a rack of ribs for just $6.99 when you purchase an entree, barbecue sandwich, maybe the award-winning catfish plate, or any entree. Party packs start at just $7.49. They have lunch specials every day. You can head to the Poplar Avenue location in Memphis, the Poplar Avenue location in Collierville. If you're out in Germantown Parkway, or out in Cordova, Germantown Parkway, and then Goodman Road in Olive Branch. So 4 convenient locations. Corky's gift cards, hey, stocking stuffers, right? Christmas is right around the corner. Pick up a Corky's gift card and stock that. Or stuff that, I should say, in the stocking. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue is open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. And also, if you want to use their private party room, you can. All you need to do is call and reserve your date and time at either the Cordova or the Olive Branch locations. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. We'll take a quick time out. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Power is everything.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Continuing on with our look back at the NFL. It was Detroit outscoring the Chargers in a while, won 41-38. Detroit 7-2, Chargers 4-5 now. Riley Patterson, Eli, the former Memphis Tiger, with the game-winning kick as time expired for the Lions.
Yeah, that was a fun game, which was expected that these two teams would probably score a bunch of points. Once again, Brandon Staley's defense, which he is in charge of, cannot get any stops, and it's not looking good for him probably at the end of this year. But that was entertaining and good for Riley to knock that through and get the winner. And Dan Campbell just keeps on churning out wins with that Lions team.
Goff was 23 of 33 for 333 and 2 touchdowns. Herbert in a losing effort, 27 of 40, 323, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Your Cowboys, as we talked about just for a short time earlier in the show, 49-10 over the Giants. Tommy DeVito's dad, he wasn't happy. Did you see him?
Well, the fourth down call, he was not happy.
He was getting a little upset.
But I do want to remind him, his son is Tommy DeVito, so I don't know that we really want to start sending him back there to pass on fourth down either. But no, that the fourth down play that he was upset with, that was a weird call, like just a little
the handoff the bar,
straight handoff, it was really weird. But they had no chance. It was just. That team's terrible. Poor Tommy he's in a rough spot there. Offensive line is not very good. Other than Barkley, there's not much around him. It's good luck to the little DeVito.
It is a mess.
But on the other side, Dak once again was exceptional. They finally got Brandon Cooks going. Brandon Cooks had really done nothing this year, and he finally goes off. But CeeDee Lamb, the one-handed catch he made yesterday, that's insane. I know these gloves are good, but to just on dead run, like holding the defender off with one hand and just reach your other hand out there, just let the ball plant in it. That dude he's on one right now. And then just get him the football. Good things happen. They have finally realized that. Thank God. And now he's the first ever with the 3 straight 10 catches, 150-yard games.
They're getting good production from Turd Ferguson. I hate to say it, but the one guy who's really not producing that much is Tony Pollard.
Listen, he was really good as the change of pace back. I wish they would get a goal line back. He's not very good at the goal line, and that's part of their problem in the red zone. Like, they can't run the football at all down there. Zeke Elliott was a great short yardage back. And then you had Pollard as the change of pace off of them. Pollard just hasn't been able to get anything going being the every down back. And down in the red zone, he really has trouble. They really have trouble running the football.
Seattle improved to 6-3, 29-26 over Washington. Commanders dropped to 4-6. Tough one for the Commanders. They scored a touchdown with 52 seconds left, but Seattle drives down the field, led by Geno Smith, and Jason Myers kicks the 43-yard game winner as time expired. And then Sunday night, what a doozy. Vegas beat the Jets 16-12. Vegas 5-5. Jets are 4-5. I know that you have Aaron Rodgers saying that he hopes to be back by mid-December. Well, if the Jets are out of it by mid-December, I don't know if he wants to come back. Josh Jacobs, 116 yards rushing for the Raiders. And Greg Zuerlein, 4 field goals for the Jets. That was their entire offense. So another rough one for Zach Wilson, who does not throw a touchdown pass. I saw this tweet from CBS. The 4 quarterbacks who have thrown a passing touchdown on 2.1% of their attempts since the merger with a minimum of 500 attempts, Chris Wenke, Ryan Leaf, Deshaun Kaiser, Zach Wilson. 2.1% of their attempts, he's thrown a touchdown.
The Jets have gone 36 straight drives without a touchdown. The last time that they had a touchdown drive of more than one play was the Broncos game 5 games ago.
Oh, my gosh.
The only 2 touchdowns they've scored since then have been one-play drives, one after a turnover against the Eagles, an 8-yard run. The other was a 50-yard pass to Breece Hall. That's it. They have the last touchdown drive of more than one play was 5 games ago.
Rough one for the Metropolitan football fans with their Jets and their Giants. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills, who are...
The crazy thing is they still almost won last night. Like the Hail Mary,
Raiders are not a great
Garrett
team.
Wilson, I think he might have caught the ball if the other guy hadn't deflected it on the Hail Mary.
That's true. Now, no true Metropolitan New Yorker would claim the Buffalo Bills, even though it's in the same state. But the Bills are in action tonight. Monday Night Football. They are 5-4, and they are in desperate need of a win. Denver 3-5, played very well the last couple of games before they had their bye week. But Buffalo is a 7-point favorite. We'll have that game for you right here on Sports 56, beginning with the pregame at 7 o'clock.
I just need a good game out of Josh Allen.
To win your week?
Need about 20. Give me about 20 points, Josh Allen. We should be good to go.
I think you might be okay with that. All right, we're going to go back to what we talked about in hour 2. Well, one of the topics, and that's, of course, the Grizzlies. They split 2 over the weekend, losing Friday against Utah, and then going out to Los Angeles and beating the Clippers yesterday. The win came after that post-game rant by Taylor Jenkins after the Friday night loss to the Utah Jazz, which dropped the Grizzlies at that time to 1-8. It was a game in which Jaren Jackson Jr. was ejected, and then afterwards... Taylor Jenkins let it fly.
Obviously, a lot of calls that ended up not going your way in this game. Just how would you describe, the feeling between yourself and the team, when a game kind of plays out that way?
Sure. Saddle up. One of the most poorly officiated games I've ever seen. Recorded. I'm fine with it. Atrocious. Jaren Jackson plays 23 minutes and is in the paint all night. He's one of the most professional players in this league. And he gets a double technical foul. And the excuse I get is that he's charging at an official. It's called de-escalation. 29 free throws to 13. And I'm not that coach. You can go back in the history. I've done this one other time. Our team is competing their off. Competing their off. And this is what happens. The interactions right now with the officials, complete disrespect. I know what's coming. It's unbelievable the looks on the faces when I'm trying to engage in conversation to defend our guys that are busting their tail right now. Busting their tail. And Jaren Jackson's one of the most professional guys. And if you go watch the play, 2 possessions in a row, he gets hacked underneath the basket, 0 free throw attempts. I'm not trying to put a name on a jersey and this guy should earn these fouls and all that stuff. Watch the game. 29 free throws to basically like there was 7. And then at the end of the game, a few more added. I don't understand it when guys are competing their tails off. And we got stuff we can clean up. Sometimes we're grabbing, we're holding, and one's like, oh, man, here. In the heat of the battle, when conversations are trying to be had, notices trying to be made on things that are happening, and there's not the enforcement of it. It blows my mind. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Our guys are competing their tails off. We got to play better. We got to coach better. We got to play better. But I don't get tonight whatsoever. Again, I'm going to go back to the interactions. Stern. Nothing. Stonewall. Ignoring. And then you wonder why our guys are trying to compete. I don't get it. I look forward to watching the tape, getting responses to when I send clips in, all that stuff to see what should have happened. And you wonder why. Haven't done this most of my career, all that stuff, but I got to defend my guys when they're competing their tail off. And we're not trying to lose our heads. We're trying to go out and win basketball games and try to play better. It's as simple as that. We're trying to play better. We're trying to play better. There's got a lot of better that's got to go around. A lot of better that's got to go around. Look at the numbers. Look at the clips. Thank you. I'd love to talk to you guys more, but with all due respect, leave it at that. Thank you all.
I don't know. He sounds like somebody, and I can't think of who it is that he a couple times he delves it, and I can't picture who it is, but he sounds exactly like somebody.
He was so upset that a couple of times I thought he was about to cry, to be honest with you. He was not making excuses. This is a guy who doesn't do that. As he said, he did it one other time. He did say he knows what's coming, and he's right. He got hit with a $25,000 fine. This wasn't just simply protecting his players. He was making a statement. Now, there was a lot of things that I think were brewing that came to a boil, and a volcanic eruption happened. But I don't have an issue with anything he said. It was an epic rant, and, of course, our producer extraordinaire cleaned that thing up for you. He was letting the expletives fly, but we weren't hearing them on the air because we like not to be fined by the FCC.
Again, I like the fact that he was polite at the end. Like, he let it all out. It's like, it was like, thank you. I can't really want to talk right now. I'll talk to y'all, in L.A.
Yeah, he said I'd like to say more, is what he said.
I mean, again, for a coach to come out and say officiating was effing atrocious, like, you just don't see even the good rants, like, are more the all that other stuff. You just don't see him say the officiating was effing atrocious. Like,
and don't get me wrong. If they were 7-1 as opposed to 1-7, even with those bad calls, he doesn't do that.
No,
he doesn't do that. But it was a combination of a lot of things, and it came to a head.
Max says Jenkins knows he's a dead man walking. Forget the refs, a job being out. Jenkins has taken the Grizz as far as he can. We need a new coach.
See, I don't buy that. I do not buy that. I think this. We were just talking about him as a Coach of the Year candidate. His hand that he has been dealt, it's not his fault. I think he's a really good coach. I think they like playing for him. I think he's a good He plans out a good game and strategy. I know there's some things, there's some issues. I understand that. But I don't know how much better you're going to do. This year is an anomaly with all the crap that has happened, all the injuries. Ja put him in this position. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I don't think he should be fired. I don't think he will be fired. But I've heard people say that they believe that he will be. And just like the texter
I will
said.
say this. That when I first heard the rant, I thought, like, that sounds like a coach that is a little worried about his job.
Maybe.
Like that, you often get that from the coach who is like, oh gosh, like, I got to do something. Like, I gotta come out, really show that I'm fighting for my guys and all of this stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have no problem with it. It's great. I love the rant. But when I first heard it, I was like, okay, now Taylor's starting to feel some pressure. Now it's starting to like, okay, we're really struggling. We can't win a home game. I need to do something.
This team, and I can't believe I'm sticking up for him in this way because you know what I think. I mean, I don't care what happens in the regular season for the most part. I care what happens in the postseason. But they were number 2 in the West the last 2 years under this guy. I don't think he should be fired. I don't think he will be. But if he is, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not saying what people like this texter is saying is crazy by any stretch of the imagination. But to dump it all on him, I think is absolutely ridiculous. What do you think? I mean, I've heard other radio hosts in the city say he's done.
If this continues, I think he will get. I mean, if they're 3-22 when like before, if they don't, then I think he very well could. And my thing with firing him right now, I don't know who the hell you're going to make the coach. There's no. If you're taking somebody off of that staff, that's not worth firing Taylor Jenkins over right now.
What are you going to elevate Brad Jones?
So if you want to, yeah, I mean, and Brad's a fine guy, but I don't think anything's going to change. Like, that's not going to be like, oh, now suddenly it's a drastic change. If you had some like big up and coming coach or something on the bench that I thought, okay, this guy would be better, but I don't think he gets fired in season now. After the season, certainly we'll see where this all goes, and I wouldn't be surprised. And, I brought up many times, I know that there's a lot of people that believe he is kind of the Doug Collins of the Grizzlies, to what Doug Collins was with the Bulls. He was the guy that kind of gets you to this point. But if you really want to get over the top, you need somebody else. He's not capable of doing that.
Ja's not owed anything for the predicament he's put this team in, but I bet you everything runs through him as far as that's concerned. If they were going to make a move with Taylor Jenkins, I bet you they're consulting with Ja. I think that makes a lot of sense for them to do that. I don't think they're at that point yet. I don't. But as far as the record in 25, I just went over some of the schedule that's coming up earlier in the show, an hour or two. Holy smokes, they're 2-8 in 10 games. They're on a pace to win 5 games and go 5-20. I think that's what's going to happen probably somewhere around 5 or 6. I was hoping it could be 8 or 9. I don't see them going on a winning streak. Again, with the Clippers, they're dysfunctional, and they almost rallied to win that game. But give the Grizzlies credit, they were able to hunker down and win it in the end. I just don't know where all these wins are coming from. And you look at Houston, a team that was expected to be at the bottom of the West. They rattled off how many in a row now? 5 in a row?
6.
6 in a row.
The Grizzlies have gotten out of last place in offensive rating. They got back to 29th. Congratulations on that one. Keith texts in, says the Grizzlies need to get rid of Zaire Williams. The guy is a bust and very weak.
He's a bust. I am not a big fan of him, but Zaire's got how many years left on his deal? 2?
What year is this? I mean, have they picked up
I think they picked up his option.
Fourth-year option or fifth-year option that they picked up? It's just his fourth year. Yeah, they haven't picked up.
I mean, the move they're going to make, assuming there's no trade, and I can't assume that they could possibly make a deal, but Bismack Biyombo's being kept. I think we're all in agreement, right? After 25 games, somebody's getting cut, and it looks like it's either going to be Junior or LaRavia. Cut their ties with LaRavia, and he has a couple years, right? Or Junior, I don't see where else the move, and Gilliard is a two-way guy, so that doesn't count. But that's what I see.
Another text says, shout out to the Grizzlies closing out the win in L.A. over the Clippers with Smart making a hell of a play in the final seconds.
He did. He had a really good game. One of his better, if not the best game he's played so far as a Grizz.
Let's see here. I think that was all of the text on the Grizzlies. Yeah, I think that's all the ones on the Grizzlies as far as that is concerned. Folks, Genesis Diamonds, they had their big event over the weekend. Hope you're able to get over there and take advantage of some unbelievable prices that they were giving you over the weekend at Genesis Diamonds. Now, every single day, you're going to get low prices on an amazing selection. With the holiday season just about here, if you really want to make a special someone, get something special for a special someone, go see the folks at Genesis Diamonds. If you're thinking about popping the question, the selection of engagement rings is absolutely out of this world. You could absolutely going to make somebody feel great. Even if it's not an engagement ring, maybe it's just some other piece of jewelry. The folks at Genesis Diamonds, not only the selection, but the prices as well. They cut out layers of middlemen with direct importer prices. That's what you're going to find, and you're going to find an amazing selection at Genesis Diamonds. And they're fully stocked right now. Fabulous selection of one-of-a-kind designer jewelry, colored gemstone jewelry, case after case of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, the fabulous collection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all at Genesis Diamonds, located in the Poplar Commons Shopping Center. That's Poplar and Perkins Extended. Go by, check them out for this holiday season at Genesis Diamonds.
Will the Memphis Tigers basketball team jump into the top 25? They'd have to jump a lot of teams. We'll talk about that to wrap it up when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
It's time for the holidays.
Blah, humbug.
What, you're not all excited for the turkey and dressing and cranberry sauce?
The cooking, the cleaning, the relatives.
Well, you got people coming in from out of town?
Hi, so many people.
It'll be fun.
All I want to do is go to Central Barbecue.
That's all you ever want to do.
Alone.
Come on, it's the holidays.
Just sitting there in a booth all by myself, enjoying Central Barbecue, no family, being all festive.
Well, you enjoy your own private Central Barbecue holiday.
That is all I ask.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Here from Westwood One. Monday Night Football is coming up from Buffalo with the Bills and the Broncos. Sean Payton's Denver team is coming off their bye week and looking for a third straight win. Sean McDermott's Bills need a win to stay above 500. Kevin Harlan and Ross Tucker will call the action on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Monday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts, tools, accessories, and supplies quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store, or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Witness the power. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Acura Memphis, Ridgeway 385, online AcuraMemphis.com. Looks like another few days of some really nice weather to go by, take a test drive, and check out all those vehicles on the lot at Acura Memphis, from new vehicles to pre-owned vehicles, certified pre-owned Acuras. Find all that Acura Memphis and great people to deal with as well. You can also, of course, get a lot of information online on the website at AcuraofMemphis.com. Brady Hoke has announced that he's retiring at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So we got at least 4. That's at least 4 openings that we know. 2 in the SEC and 2 in the Mountain West.
Yeah. You must have been sleeping when I brought it up about an hour ago.
I did not. I missed that.
But you're right. There are 4. And counting, who knows how many more. Yeah, for those who missed it, Zach Arnett let go by Mississippi State. Yesterday, the Jimbo Fisher news, the Andy Avalos news at Boise State. So these coaching moves are coming in fast and furious. So, Eli, we were talking about this earlier. The Associated Press Top 25 men's basketball poll will come out at around noon. Is it possible for Memphis, that didn't get a lot of consideration, leaps into the top 25? Now, Jeff Goodman, John Rothstein, those that cover basketball, those 2 guys at least, and I'm sure they have a vote. They have voted Memphis in at number 25. I'm looking to see who lost in the top 25 from last week. We know that Michigan State lost. We know that Duke lost, but they're not dropping out of the top 25. I don't have everybody's results, but I can tell you St. Mary's did lose over the weekend. They are 23. So, I guess it's possible, but they would have to jump over a bunch of teams who were receiving votes. Memphis received 7 votes last week. In front of them, Wisconsin got 53, Colorado 49, UCLA 47, on and on and on. I can tell you one team that will not be going into the top 25, my Maryland Terrapins. Lost to Davidson and to UAB. What a disaster. Mississippi State, by the way, got 20 as well, but Memphis only 7. They could take the big leap, though, with a huge win at Missouri.
Yeah, like I talked about last Friday when we were talking about it, if Memphis got the win because it was a road win, it would be easier for them to make the leap into the top 25 than Missouri had they just won a home game. But that's a very good road win for the Tigers. With not many of those teams losing, it's difficult to jump over all of them because generally voters aren't going to just jump teams over them without somebody losing. But early in the season, if they are, all the voters could be a little different. And some people may look at it and say, okay, my preseason poll was all guessing. Now that I've actually seen games played and a team gets a nice road win, I'll reward them for that and move them into the top 25. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised if they're able to crack in there, but I'm also not going to be surprised if they're in that 26 6 to 30 range, and the others receiving votes.
Exactly. And our friend Parthu Pajai, who joins us quite frequently, and I do a podcast with him each and every week at the Daily Memphian, he does have a vote, and he ranks Memphis at number 25.
And he had him at 25, I think, in the preseason.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
He was one of the
he's
votes
one of the few,
they were already getting.
That's true.
In the preseason. So that's not a change as far as his. It's how many new people put him in there, and that will be the question. Folks, Thanksgiving now it's next week. A week from Thursday is Thanksgiving. If you're in charge of the bird, you want to make sure you do it right. If you got to get those supplies, go see the folks at Memphis Barbecue Supply. I have, by the way, Jimmy, if you're listening, I'll be stopping by to see you today. I got to come by and get some charcoal and some other things. Not for Thanksgiving, because I'm not going to be here to cook the bird this year. But if you are doing it, whether you're smoking it, whether you're deep frying it, whether you're just cooking in the oven, well, you need the brines and the injections, all that stuff. Well, they've got you taken care of at Memphis Barbecue Supply. Of course, if you're smoking it on the grill, they've got your charcoal, they've got your woods, pellets, all of that stuff. They've got that for you at Memphis Barbecue Supply. Plus, over 300 different rubs and sauces that they've got. If not just for cooking the turkey, of course, for cooking anything on the grill around the house, the folks at Memphis Barbecue Supply have you taken care of, and a knowledgeable staff to help you as well. 7041 Stage Road. 7041 Stage Road. That's where they're located. You can also find them online, mbbqsupply.com, for those brines, bags, buckets, all of that other stuff, all of the things you need for a great Thanksgiving turkey. Go see the folks at Memphis Barbecue Supply.
All right, that was a busy 3 hours. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. Again, Monday Night Football tonight. It is the Bills playing host to the Broncos. We'll have that game for you right here on Sports 56, beginning with the pregame at 7. The Memphis women playing UT on the road at Thompson Bowling today in women's basketball, 5:30 tip-off time. Memphis versus Tennessee. That'll do it for us today. Big thanks to Barrett Salih for joining us on the program. Tomorrow, among our guests, Connor O'Gara will talk with Zoe Goodson, the men's basketball coach at Rhodes, during our Rhodes Athletic segment. Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis is back. 5 favorite things. We'll give you the topic for Wednesday, plus Humdinger's trivia. It's all coming up on the program tomorrow. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great Monday, everybody.